today too, man. Looks like my audio processor hasn't quite smartened up yet. But it's on its way. It's like using broadcast stuff on amateur radio is annoying, I guess. But when it's working, it works well.
Broadcast stuff. Yeah, man. One of these days I'll get my scope figured out so that I can get a useful level. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm doing the usual Viking at reduced power right now. Probably 40, just over 40 watts there, Cletus.
You know, you're in the clear most of the time, but the static crashes are horrendous. What am I reading here? I gotta figure this out using mathematics. Hello. Yeah. I'm really not getting a good reading here. Hello. It looks like about Johnson Valiant power here right now.
Valiente. That would be three finals, huh?
Yeah, well, I got the plate voltage turned way down. I don't want to disturb any of the financial things that are going on here in the office.
Yeah, understood. I'm a little light on the modulation right now, but if I raise that up, I reckon all hell is going to break loose in about 15 minutes when this broadcast processor decides to jack the volume up by itself. But you know what? Oh crap, not phase. We want analog output 1. Why is this so touchy right now? Analog output 1. Ooh, minus 7.3 dB. I'm gonna come up to minus 6.3 dB. Oh. Let's make it an even 6. Minus 6. Ah, that's looking better already. Look at that there, Cletus.
Yeah, that looks better, sounds better, more effective. Man, last night when I went on 10 meters with this rig, I couldn't believe how rock stable it was. It was like, I dialed it up to 2900 and it didn't move. It might have moved 20 cycles. That's it.
Yeah, that's cool. I wasn't listening at all, but I'm sure you and Connor had a good time up there.
Well, he didn't stay long. He said somebody challenged him to get a DXCC on 10 meters, and he was going to do it. I think he said 10 meters. Maybe it was just DXCC. But anyway, he was using his time, you know, with that station to work some dog X-ray, which was pretty smart, because when I finished up on AM, I went down to FT8, and I worked another JA or two. So the band had kind of folded, and then it came back again, and it was late. The E-skip, it's kind of bizarre, because, you know, it used to be dinner time was when the JAs would come in, and the window wouldn't last very long on 10, maybe 45 minutes, but now it seems to light up around dinner time, and it kind of comes and goes, but I didn't expect anything that late. I think that was after 10 p.m. Really bizarre. W2 very weak.
Yeah, the lightning crash is getting me because everything's ready now.
You're close to being in the clear. Let's see what happens.
Alright, yeah, I got filaments burning in the other room, so whenever you decide that, I'm a little pissed weak, I could go fix that.
You know, you were lighter when you first fired up, so I don't know if the band has changed around or what, but right now it's okay. You hear me all right?
Oh yeah, 56 dB SNR.
I don't know if this rig sounds any different at this power level. I mean, it's a ton of dynamic headroom in a modulator like this, but yeah, for what it's worth, who knows?
It sounds good, looks good, got a good signal, so just fine. Reduced power levels working. Let me see, this thing, has it changed up on me? Yeah, it's throwing a little more audio at it. I can see the negative cycle getting a little crappy into the 3 diode. It depends how I talk, though. How I speak, I should say.
Yeah, there's little gremlins in the equipment that move all the settings when you're not paying attention.
Yeah, and it's like a feature. They want it's like built in because this thing is designed to play music on. It's like all different modes. It's got FM, AM, AMHD, FMHD, MP3, a couple different settings for MP3. It's like an all-in-one, and it thinks it's so smart, and it thinks that oh, let me jack around the levels because nobody wants to pay an engineer to set it up or do that. So it just like it thinks it's smart, Dave. It's laughing at me. Look at that! I have so much more modulation now because it's starting to even out and like recognize my voice. But then if I don't talk for a long time, it'll it's just a little bit of a pain. But I really like this thing. I can GUI into it from my computer and make changes and it's the bee's knees, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I couldn't own something like that.
Yeah, well, it costs as much as like a rice box. So I've never bought a rice box, so that's my justification.
Yeah, I like to pay $50 for a rice box myself. Those TS440s, I used to buy piles of them, and you'd take one, and I could modify it, put the AM mods in, and flip it to somebody, and you do 2 of those, you'd have enough money to buy a 3rd one. That's how I used to do it. And of course, probably half the time, people advertised them as working, and by the time they got to you, they had the dots problem just from being in some tractor trailer over the weekend without climate control. A lot of people, if you looked at eBay carefully and you looked at the completed sales of TS440s, man, there were a lot of upset people. I said the rig worked, and when I got in, I had a bounce problem. That's why they sold it to me.
Yeah, this thing, whenever I'm home, it's on, and if I leave the house for more than a few hours, I kind of turn it off, but being, that I have the AC on now, and it stays lit for, days at a time, I can have it off for, 8 to 10 hours, turn it on, and it doesn't give me any dots. Knock on wood, I guess. I mean, before, when I was using it in the other room, I always had it off, and I just turn it on when I want to use it, and I never even saw those dots before. I had it off for a while there and moved it into this room.
Yeah, well, it doesn't follow hard and fast rules, except the longer you don't use it, the more problems you're going to have. This one here, I never shut it off. Every one of them I've ever owned, I never shut it off. They just stay on for years. Like this AC. The AC thing is never. It's never shut off. I wouldn't be able to sleep if I did that.
Well, I've got this thing parked on 1885 right now. It doesn't receive me at all. Even if I just VIFO off some amount of kilohertz on 80 meters, it doesn't hear me. But I had it on 3885 before, and it was pink over in the corner, that was pretty dumb.
That's the way to do it, though, is terminate it instead of shorting it or whatever. It's a good old 50 ohm. That's what I do with my unused receivers. They all go in the little dummy load.
So I'm talking to my stream, W9WOO, wanted to know how I got rid of the buzz on the stream. And, well, this is easier than typing, because I could say this to you too. It was just receiver overload mostly, so lowering the IF gain and RF gain in the receiver settings helped a lot. And then I just now, before I got on the air, I added a termination. It basically switches I put a dummy load on the back of the receiver, and it switches into it when I'm transmitting, so the received signal is much lower. And I think there's still a little buzz on there, but it's harder to hear.
Yeah, there is. There's a little bit of buzz on there, but not very much. Be interesting when you turn on the QRO machine, what happens if you turn it on. Right now, it's not looking like you need it. What's really funny is that I don't know where you're getting. I know where you're getting it. If I listen to you with the computer speakers turned up and everything here, you sound almost exactly like you sound over the air. It's really close. It's pretty close. The highs are a little crisper on the stream. There's no static crashes, but other than that, it's scary.
Well, you're hearing straight demodulated audio, and my passband is wide enough to catch pretty much all of it. Here, are you listening? I'm going to flip 10 dB in there. So I just knocked it down 10 dB. There's 15 dB of attenuation on the D-mod, so let's see what that does. And there's the full 20 dB of attenuation on the D-mod. So that's his condition B. Now this is no attenuation on the D-mod. No attenuation. W2BTK.
We're not talking because it seems to mask it. Your hum level is so low now over the stream that your audio buries it here. W2 very weak.
Alright, so I'm just going to hold a carrier. Right now this is 0 dB of attenuation. I'm going to flip into 10. That's 10 dB. Here comes 15. And now here's the full 20. And we're going to go back to 0 now.
Can you give it back and forth between 0 and 20? I don't hear any difference at all. The only thing I see is a tiny bit of grass on your own D-mod there, changing near the where you would expect to see 60 hertz. That's the only thing I can see. If you could go between 0 and 20 with no audio, I'd like to see that. It's not making much of a difference though.
All right, here's 0 dB. 20. 0. 20.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see that it's doing its thing, but it's near the grass, so it's kind of hard to measure it. Looking at the, if you look at your playback, probably not seeing it. Well, maybe you are, but audio-wise, it's so low that I don't think it's making any difference. So it's way down from where it was.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And I got a little click now when I key up from the, the coaxial relay switching my receiver into the dummy load that's hanging off the back of it. Probably doesn't come through my mic because I don't run very much mic gain. But yeah, this is much better. I feel like now, I always had a problem on 10 meters with receiver overload, like bad receiver overload on 10. This might be usable now.
Yeah, well, you're going to get a whole different leakage scenario going on 10 meters. It's quite profound. Probably going to get, lots more leaking into the system. So whatever negative effects that causes will be that much worse. That's a normal thing.
Yeah. Did you find any of that stuff for blue settings?
No, I looked around. There's a box. It's the very same box. It's probably like a Corona beer box somewhere that's still got all that stuff in it. So I gave you the generic holds true for whatever, and give that a shot. And I'm kind of not going to see anybody. I think you know the deal for the next couple of 3 weeks. But after that, if it doesn't turn up, then make a personal appearance.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Thank you. And I guess that's the email you sent. I didn't take a look at it yet. I have the stream going, and I try not to touch the computer much when that's going on because my internet can barely handle this upload, so I don't screw with it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, you get beat once or twice. That can ruin your whole day. You got to sit there and reboot stuff, and then somebody else started a different conversation during your time while you fixed everything, and it's gone off to La La Land. I get it. It ain't easy.
Yep. I'm pretty much using like all my bandwidth right now to have the stream up, so when I start doing anything, it like fuzzes out the chat box and like degrades everything. It just is simply because of bandwidth, and geez, I went 2 tiers up, so they gave me like stupid download speeds, and like I only gained 5 meg up. Like I think every other provider, like it's common to have 25 megabyte upload speeds. Here you gotta like pay, and they're like, oh yeah, you get super fast download, but like yeah, here's 10 meg up. It sucks. I wish I could just pay to have more upload speed, but it's not possible.
Yeah, well, where you live, you're lucky to have any speed at all in either direction.
Hey man, the SNR on the internet coming in is actually really good here. It's almost like minus 40, which I go to my brother's house, and they live in like pretty close to like cities, and they're only like maybe 2 or 3 dB better than I am.
Yeah, that's interesting. We just had the guy here this week to change something, and he went up on the pole, look at the levels and stuff. They've been fighting the internet provider here has been chasing leakage issues and stuff for years, and what they do to get the leakage down is they jam an attenuator in line. There's a line amp, and I think they changed where the line amp is now, but I'm at the very end. And so I guess they exceed the leakage specs, so instead of fixing whatever's wrong with it, they just turn down the whole schmear, and it makes the leakage problem go away. Nice. So the guy comes and does that, and then everybody around here gets kicked off their internet once in a while, especially when the modem decides that it's going to create a hotspot for somebody that you don't even know. All kinds of funky things happen then. So we've been chasing this back and forth for years. And finally, this guy comes and he tells me some very interesting things that have happened in the area with a certain 3-letter government agency and leakage and certain people. And it was a lot of fun talking to this dude. Let me tell you. Anyway, he said that what we got coming in here now is we're in pretty good shape. He has this little handheld spectrum analyzer that looks like a big cell phone, and they look at that, and he said we're really looking pretty good here, so that's good to know.
Yeah, whatever. Most of those ISPs, they not gonna get into it, but the funniest thing I saw, man, was one time I went down to visit Dennis down there, AC2FO, and he was having a problem. He was there was some kind of like intermittent arc on a pole somewhere nearby, and at the time he was like, you know, emergency coordinator for this or that, and his 2-meter stuff was getting like blown out. So he made a huge stink, and that was the day that the guy came with the parabolic antenna, and they were aiming it at stuff, and I got to see him with that thing and the spectrum analyzer, and like they found the pole and had the crew climb up there, and it was just a loose ground at the top of the pole, and it was just like arcing a little bit here and there, and they tightened that sucker up, and that was that.
Well, that's great. Did he pinpoint the pole first, or did they have to find it? You know, like before they showed up. W2 very weak.
He got real close, and he had like 2 different poles that he thought it was. He's like, either this one or that one, and he was right. You know, the one he thought it was. So they got the dish out, and it was making nasty stuff, and they were like, yeah, this is no good, this is unacceptable. So they had they literally like found it, the tech guy, and like a half an hour later, you know, the big truck with the bucket pulled up. Those guys are fast.
Yeah, too bad Dennis doesn't get on here more often. He used to get on once in a while. I know he had a Ranger, but I haven't really heard from him. But I know he's doing other things. He might not be doing any radio at all. Who knows?
Yeah, I think he's drag racing these days. He's got his Monte Carlos and stuff. But he did send me pictures of that Ranger. It's really nice. Like, it's museum quality. It's super, super nice. So maybe we'll hear him on that one of these days. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, he had to make a big stink to get like the techs to come out and stuff. And I remember saying stuff like, well, you know what, like, if you're not going to come out for this, like, you know, you're destroying like the emergency communications, this and that. And they were like, oh yeah, well, sorry, you know, like, whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, whatever. Well, like, will you send a crew out if I take a big chain and throw it up over the power lines and watch them spark for a while? You send guys out then? Because I'm thinking about doing it. And they're like, whoa, like, chill out. We'll send someone out in a couple days.
I'm gonna go cut all the telephone poles down on my street if you guys can't fix your crap, you negligent so-and-sos. Yeah, sometimes they leak and it gets in the aircraft band, man. That's not cool. I remember years ago, I used to have a sked with a guy on 2 meters, and he was 50 miles away, and I used to run a pair of 4CX 250Bs. And every Sunday night, there would be no Channel 18 on cable TV in this whole town.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, but I used to do stuff like that back in the day with my mobiles, as they say. Not mobile, mobile. And that was really the only thing that did that. Even running, you know, the vertical dipole that I had didn't really bother much. But yeah, those mobiles were stupid.
Yeah, well, the thing with that stuff is there's nothing to stop the harmonics, and the third harmonic gets radiated pretty well nearby. Yep, and the fifth harmonic. You do a lot of damage with that stuff. I'm going to be away from the switch. I got to go in the kitchen here and get me something, so I'll be able to hear you. If you can make one of those long transmissions, you know. See if you can say absolutely nothing for 4 minutes.
All right. Well, Rich, WX2H, who is in the Twitch chat right now, just threw a carrier on 3880 to see what kind of signal he had up here, and it was pretty good. So, Rich, why don't you come up on frequency, man? I feel like I'll be able to hear you just fine. I'll unkey, but if I don't hear you, I guess I'll key back up and blather.
Oh, okie doke. W2BTK. WX2H running 20 watts. Hearing you good, Billy. And I'm here at
Yeah, you got your carrier is very strong here, but the lightning crashes are jumping up. So if you have the ability to put some more audio on that carrier and get it a little bit, fully modulated, I guess, that would help out a lot.
Okay, Bill. Yeah, kind of limited here, you know, it's just, rice and Rowdy box. Whoops. That helps. W2BTK.
Yeah, you might want to try, you said you're running 25 watts of carrier, and I assume that's a 100 watt PEP radio. You might want to try lowering it down 10 watts to like maybe 15 watts of carrier to get yourself some more headroom. It might allow you to put some more audio on that carrier, and I don't think that your signal will suffer very much at all. I don't know how quick it is to do, but that would be my recommendation. Just it might allow you to fully modulate that thing, because you're only about, I don't know, 50, maybe 50% modulated out of it. So drop that carrier down and try to get some more audio on that carrier. It would definitely help with the lightning crashes and whatnot, because I hear you just fine. Your carrier is strong, but when they crash up over top of your modulation, and it kind of, I can't hear you whenever it crashes like that.
Okay, Bill, let me see. And,
Yeah, I don't think it made that much of a difference. I know it's really hard to get those rice boxes to like fully modulate on AM sometimes, unless you do wacky crap to them, like with this 440. I could switch over to the 440 and run like, I don't know, 10 or 15 watts. I usually run that at about 15 watts of carrier just to compare, but right now I'm on the Viking 2 running about 40 watts of carrier, and I don't know, I would assume that I'm peaking probably somewhere near 150, 175 watts PEP, so.
well, you got very nice upward modulation, that's for sure. There's almost like it's pretty potent the way you got it set up. Well, that's okay. Yeah, it's always a struggle. It's always a bit of a struggle with the old rifle here, but I just wanted to say hello to you, and the W2 very weak. He's coming in okay. And I'll be watching on Strem here. Enjoying this cooling off and chilling down here in the old shack. WX2H.
Hey, I'll tell you what, that did make a difference if you did drop it down to 15, because you have a lot more modulation now. That's pretty damn good. You look like you're about 100% modulated now. So that's a good level, and you still have like pretty much the same amount of carrier in, or at least what I'm receiving here. It's just louder, which is what you need right now in these kind of conditions, So not bad at all. Maybe Dave's back. I don't know if you want hang out. Say hi to Dave. Let's see if he's hearing you okay. Down there in Onion, New Jersey. WX2H and W2VW from W2BTK.
Yeah, I'm hearing Rich down here kind of on and off. Static crashes taking him out. But yes, I agree. Hi, Rich. You sounded much better on that last over. Over.
Really nice up here. Or, yeah, here. Sounds like you're in South. Even on 40 watts, you're doing excellent. So, hey, you need to put a shingle on that screen that says AM Radio Repair Shop. WX2H.
Man, hey, Rich, did you see the video that I posted? It's up on my YouTube, and then I also posted it in the W2LI Facebook group, and it's just like, I don't know, a 10-minute snip of our QSO from last night with me, you, and George.
Oh my God, I didn't see it. That's because I've been doing other crap all day. It's just been kind of one of those weird days. I was playing around with iron. West Orange school system. It might be like her last check, and never run. So I called somebody that had the same name and said, "Hey, Bobby, you know the in Union?" He said, "Yeah, that's my brother. Here's his number. Call him." So I called him. Well, picked up the check. It was First Life. I guess she's getting her final payment for the school year. WX2H.
Yeah, I heard you saying that you were doing stuff all day, and something about a check with the school system or something, but you were fading. You're kind of up and down like James Brown there, man. So I was missing a little bit here and there, but overall, you're not doing that bad. It's just the lightning crashes are getting a little bit obnoxious right now. So, yeah. Go check out the recording there. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's in multiple places. So, how am I doing down there, Dave? Is it getting better or worse?
You're holding up just fine. Rich was in and out. And that last transmission, he was buried by the noise. But you're holding up. I think your signal has gotten stronger. It seems like the static crashes aren't as strong as when we first came on here. I guess I'll have to look at a map. But maybe something blew out of here, or just disbanded, or it's pop-up thunderstorm that's no longer popped up. I don't know what the answer is, but you're coming in great. W2 very weak.
You guys sound great up here.
Who's that, Phil?
Si, senor.
Hey, it's good Phil.
Is there a bad one?
Yes.
All right.
No, you're cool, Phil. You're good, Phil.
All terrific adjectives.
I noticed that you've departed Facebook, and you're a wise man. I might do the same thing soon, because it's bad, man.
It's a cesspool of human insecurities.
Man, that's correct, succinct, to the point.
Yeah, so good to hear you guys. I heard that other station like a little bit for a short amount of time, but Dave and Billy, you guys are banging in here.
Yeah, I've got a variac turn way down here. I'm getting about 120 watts out of this here Junction 500. Talk about stupid.
Well, it's doing the job. I'm running a little bit more than that, but hopefully you guys can hear me with my crappy antenna.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, you're coming in great. You're the channel master there, Phil. I'm running about 40 watts. Let me know if I start to get swallowed up. It sounds like I'm doing fine, though. I'm just going to leave everything alone.
W2PHL. Yeah, no, it's not too bad. I heard you guys talking about lightning. I'm hearing something, but not much. So, yeah, good deal. Good to hear you guys on this afternoon.
Likewise, it's always nice hearing you, Phil.
Well, Billy, I don't know. You're going to make that decision to pull the plug, or I just, I don't know. It just hit me one day. I don't know.
It's just all the crap that I see people perpetuating, and it's like, it's so dumb. Like, all this stuff, like, I don't know. It gets my heart rate up when I'm on Facebook, man. It really does, and that's not a good thing. There's like nothing pleasant on there, you know, these days. So I don't know if I'm gonna pull a plug. I might just stop looking at it, because I do like to have it available, because there's a lot of people that I, you know, can't contact by other means. So if they wanted to reach out to me, that's the only way. And if I get off of there, then, well, that's that. I mean, it's basically like cutting ties.
Yeah, that's the aspect that concerned me the most. But, you know, I just did a, you know, broad brush and preponderance of the evidence, you know, just lean toward just disconnect, because all those things you mentioned, it's just too much. And I see people that I've known all my life just like melting. And it's like it's not pretty, and I just don't want to be around that. But anyway, yeah. So that was the reason for that, and it takes at least a week to get that itch of wondering what's going on. It actually disappears, and so that's a good thing. I think they say usually, I think there's a study at like 2 weeks, if you can go whatever it is, from smoking or drinking, like if you can hit like I think it's 2 weeks. For me, I'm an overachiever. I did it in 1 week, but you get the compulsive urge leaves your body. So all in all, it's a good thing.
Yeah, that seems about right. I just, I stopped taking my medicine a few weeks ago, and it's, you know, yeah, I would agree, at least with that. I mean, and I think you know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to actually come out and say it.
Put it on a forum. Put it on that AM forum. I was thinking about, I think we need another thread on best practices for AM operation. I was going to put, that guy beat me to it, the one about how wide is too wide. I love discussions like that. I just love it. So I guess, you know, if you want to, you know, get sage advice, just post it on a forum.
Well, if you want to get the best advice, you got to get on the air, because there's so many people on those forums that can't seem to keep a station running, or never had one, or are just guessing, or they're just magpies who flip stuff that they heard from other people who don't know what they're doing. It just gets deeper and deeper and deeper sometimes. And there are a few people, you like Don K4KYV, who's been around forever, and also published, you know, the AM Press, which took that over. And he knows the difference between chicken salad and chicken.
Oh, you took a pretty good fade there, Dave. I heard 90% of that. And yeah, I tend to stay off of those forums too. I'm just becoming like, I'd be the perfect ham radio operator. Move up to a cabin in the woods, and you know, just go to the store every few months, and I got all the radio equipment, so yeah. I mean, I don't know how the missus would take to that, but I'm primed and ready to disconnect.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, don't do that.
Hey Phil,
It's chicken salad and chicken shit.
there's Timmy. Hi Timmy. Phil, Clark had a good one with the bandwidth thing, and you know the bandwidth cops, they usually run single slot bucket and like, you know, say, oh, hey, I'm blah blah, waste of bandwidth, this and that. But those guys, they run the full 3 kilohertz on sideband. If they were really, you know, wanted to, like, you know, perpetuate their beliefs, they wouldn't run the full 3 kilohertz. They'd probably narrow it down to 2. And if you're narrowed down to 2, why not just use CW and, you know, make your own portion of the band? Oh, wait.
Or stay off the air completely and write somebody a letter.
Hi, Timmy.
Anybody hear this thing?
Yeah, I hear you, Timmy.
I guess I'm piss weak as usual.
Kind of piss weak here, but I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I'm just using a Ranger. I've had this thing on all afternoon. Just tuned in. Yeah, well, the thing is the human voice, in terms of, I guess the phrase is powered thinking, will only occupy about plus and minus 4 to 5 kilohertz. That's it. So, you know, if the signal is much wider than about 8 or 10 kilohertz, where it's most intense, then there's a problem with that station's transmitter and processing gear.
Well, I watch myself, like, you know, my voice, I do have, like, it adds a lot of clarity to just pop out a little past 5 on the audio frequency, like 6kC. There's still stuff there, man, and it really cleans up the sibilant sounds. Otherwise, you know, your S's start to sound like F's, and that's not good.
Timmy has gone away.
Yeah, Timmy, you faded away. I didn't hear any of that. I just upped I gave it a little more scrote. I'm sick of these lightning crashes.
Well, I may put on a transmitter of more power than this, and I'll be back. This WA-18 yellow.
Heard you okay on that one, but yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, I know. Static level is up.
Whoa, that's a big signal there.
Yeah, that's a little much for right now. Let me go adjust my variac.
That's like a giant, like 3-inch wheel attached to the wall.
How many kilowatts are you running, Timmy? He either went away or he doesn't hear me. W2 very weak. I'm in the kitchen organizing, so I'll be away from the switch.
All right, Dave. Yeah, look, that's a little more human right there. I dropped it back a bit. I could probably drop it back a bit more than that. Phil, what's my S meter reading? Because I just want to be like, 15 over. That would probably be it. What's it at now?
It's at 22 over.
I could go play with it a little more. Let me go knock it back just a little bit.
Yeah, when you get to, what did you say, 15 over? Just lock it in this way, because I'll be able to hear you fine if you just stay at 15 over all day.
Yup. Let me run in the other room.
Well, how no shit, how you hear me?
If that was directed to me, slightly offensive, but yeah, I hear you.
Yep. Well, this is about 100 watts out now.
Well, I would say the 100 watts is making a difference there, Tim. I can hear you now, but there's just like this big, fat, slow PSB. I'm sure you're seeing it too. And it's being a little bit of a problem. Anyway, W2PHL.
Yeah, it's there.
Let's see. How's that feel?
Well, 20 dB over S9. You only knocked off 2 dB.
Crap. Well, let's just stay there. 20 dB's fine. 20 dB over S9. Although I could knock a little more signal down.
And you got to get a Sharpie and write on the variac 20 dB over S9 at Phil's house and put a little line there.
I do have a scale on the variac, so I can, I just have to remember this is at well, I'm not going to throw percentages out there. But, all right, let me try knocking it down just a little more.
I know Billy and Dave were complaining about static crashes. I'm not getting, well, actually, I'm using a little tiny receiving loop. That's probably why.
There. That should be 15 dB over S9, approximately.
Just about.
That's pretty good, huh?
Yes, very stable and predictable.
Well, I'm just going to leave it here.
That would be a great thread. How to adjust your output power for constant S unit readings.
These lightning crashes are annoying as hell because my noise level's like minus 100, and then with the crashes it jumps up 20-25 dB.
I'm looking at my I have 2 SDRs running here, and the flex doesn't react as badly with the static as the RSP does, because the flex has band filters in it. So I know that, I think you're using what are you using? One of those RSPs, right?
No, I'm using it's an RF Space SDR IQ. It's like a old SDR. They don't make it anymore.
Is it just a receiver?
Yeah, just a receiver.
Oh, yeah. Well, the nice thing about the Flex 1500 is it's also the transmitter, so it's got transmit bandpass filters in it, and that's also engaged for receive. And I noticed that the receiver just doesn't go out of whack with static as much as it does with the regular SDR receivers that don't have all that filtering in it.
Yeah, I've been playing with this one a lot to knock. I was getting like a lot of buzz and crap in my D-Mod, and I think it was just receiver overload. And actually today, before I got on the air, I stuck a TR relay directly to the back of the receiver, and there's like a 25-watt bird dummy load hanging off of that. So basically it dumps the SDR right into a dummy load, like right on the back of the receiver. And it cleaned up my D-Mod like a lot for my transmitted stuff, because you know that matters to me, because I'm putting it out over a live stream so people can hear it. You hearing that buzz over the air?
I hear a little something in the background. I wouldn't have called it a buzz though, but I definitely hear, there's something going on there, but very low down in the signal level.
Yeah. Well, I was running some IF gain on this receiver, and now that's at 0. That cleaned it up tremendously, and I knocked the RF gain way back. And now with the addition of this, termination right on the back of the receiver, it's the best that it's been.
Yeah, well, you get that RF ground loop stuff going on, especially, when you're trying to receive yourself in another receiver. I mean, that's always problematic. So I would imagine, having a 50 ohm load on the input of the receiver is going to certainly help.
Yep. I used to receive myself pretty strong. But with the dummy load now, it seems like it knocked 10 dB off of myself into my own receiver. So that's great. It cleaned everything up. So I'm not spanking the AGC. It just sounds better.
W2PHL. Well, I'm 50 over S9 on my on the RSP SDR that I use for the YouTube channel, and that just gets disconnected when I transmit. It doesn't switch over to a dummy load. That would be a worthwhile thing for me to do, since you've had success with it, because my recovered audio doesn't sound all that good on the YouTube channel. It's got a hum in it and all that, but it's all like RF ground loop stuff. So that might be a fun little thing to do. Just need another relay in there.
Yeah, it's worth doing. And hey, now I got like a tiny little baby clack when I key up from this little TR relay. Probably not coming through because my mic's not pointed at it and I don't have much gain on it. But there's that too. I've got clacks out here now.
Now you just need a click to go with that clack.
Yeah, well, nah, you know what? It clicks out here and it clacks in the room behind me. I can hear it going every time I key up, but, the door's closed and it's in another room, so I'm the only one that hears it. You don't really hear anything when I key up anymore, right? It's just like the signal appears.
Yeah, it's like you're one of those, super duper radio jockeys. I would, if I was Billy, I'd mic that clack, and I'd take that mic and I'd run it into the mixing board, and then you could add as much clack as you want.
You know what you need is, you need to take the guts out of the doorbell where it's got that solenoid and the long plunger that usually hits the little xylophone piece in there, and get a bobblehead of you-know-who, and you can have it smack them in the head every time you pick up, and you can put it on the video stream. W2BTK.
I like that.
Oh, hell yeah. That's worth doing.
I'm sure that they make bobbleheads that pretty much already look just right for the job.
Yeah, it just has to be like a fat guy. Really, that's it. Just a fat guy with broken equipment. But, I mean, the broken equipment part is whatever. Just find a bobblehead of some fat guy with a little bit of a southern accent.
Wow, that's going to be hard to find, especially in these trying times.
Yeah, just go on 10 meters.
You drifted right on frequency there, Dave. I'm on my way. I'm almost there.
I know. I keep up long enough to measure it. And I'm drifting my way slowly down to being on frequency. It's actually kind of scary. I heard what you said, Phil, about the static crashes. I don't know, are you hearing them now? Because they're getting loud again.
Uh-oh.
What? Oh, is that for me?
Yeah.
No, I was just commenting. Firstly, I'm using a receive loop right now, and that tends to be a little quieter. It depends where the lightning is at. And my SDR here has got some bandpass filtering, and it doesn't completely freak out when there's a lightning strike, as opposed to my other SDR that has no filtering in it, really. And that just bounces up and down like James Brown when there's any kind of static in the air.
James Brown wasn't around for the riots this time. Yeah, well, I noticed that you and the static crashes have both router here. Billy, you're overriding it. Fine business, so it's not a waste of electricity. Actually, it's not a waste of electricity if you think about it. There used to be a guy on here, W2BTK, I'm sure Timmy remembers him, Ralph. And he used to say, all non-essential communication is just that. So whenever somebody got on sideband, he would say,
well, you could be a green ham and just go QRP, but I don't transmit that much, so if you aggregate all the RF that I throw out of the station here, I'm a super economical, environmentally friendly amateur radio operator.
oh yeah, you could probably get government money.
First, I'd have to do some kind of testing, and we'd have to have a focus group. So I'd get money together to do the initial study, and then when the study is completed, then we can actually do the actual testing. So maybe 2 grants I could get.
Did you hear me tell Billy how I celebrated June 18th or whatever it is?
I did not.
I exercised my white privilege by going to the dermatologist and getting 6 things frozen and 1 cut off today.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I've had a lot of experience in that realm too.
Yeah. So that's how I celebrate my white privilege. And I'm going to get wrinkled as I get older, too, so that's also part of my white privilege. Thank you, and have a nice day.
See, Phil, that's the thing. It's like the words white people on Facebook is just every single post. I don't know what it is. And it's all, I don't know, all this anti-racist stuff, but like everybody's just white people, white people, white people. Like what? What?
I'm the problem. Dave's the problem. You're the problem. What are you gonna do? That's why I pulled the plug on that. That's absolutely draining. Oh, I hear people talking. Oh, my daughter might be home from work. Anyway, yeah, that's friends that I've known all my life. I've watched them completely turn into other people.
You know what? I think we should start complaining about being called white. I'm beige. I think white is a racial epithet, and I don't like it. And I think everybody should stop using that. And in 20 years, we'll change it. Beige will be bad.
How about we just say people?
No, you can't do that. How's the government going to make any headway like that?
You know, that's true. I heard, and I don't know how much truth this is, but if you go to Black Lives Matter site and you donate, it's actually it's this thing Act Blue, right? And then if you look at their contributions and stuff, and again, I don't know how true this is, like it's basically all those donations are going to the Democratic Party, or so I heard, which I thought was like weird. I don't know. And again, somebody fact check me.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't know if it's true. God knows they need money, though.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't get enough from the Chinese.
All this stuff sucks, man. Like, it sucks. You know, I want to get off Facebook. I just want to stop hearing about it. It's bad news. I don't know what to say. And yeah, I mean, like, drawing attention to stuff that, like, injustices and this and that, but I don't think it's being done in the right way. I think it's dividing people, like, big time, you know, and that, I mean, that might be the point. Who knows?
They all suck. Both sides suck. Anybody that thinks they is misinformed. And I'm done with this discussion, because it's only going to get...
Yeah, me too.
Let's post about it on the forum.
EW, I'm good on QRZ for anybody who wants to write me any hate mail. I'm really jealous, Billy.
What are you jealous of? This is W2BTK.
You get better hate mail. What's up with you?
I don't know. My haters miss me when I leave. I purged myself from all their domains on the internet and was like, okay, like, have fun, I'm out. I'm just going to go do my own thing. But they follow me. So, I don't know. I guess secretly they like me. You can't truly hate someone unless you actually love them a little bit.
Ooh, that's deep.
That fine line.
Yeah, it's a thin line between love and hate. Yeah, 1972, right, Phil?
Who was that?
The Pretenders.
No, they redid it. Somebody else did it first.
I like the Pretenders version.
Clark, did you know that my dad went to high school with Chrissy Hines?
That's awesome. Best album ever, Learning to Crawl.
And she used to have a band called the Poor Girls back in those days, and you know, I used to go see them at bars and stuff. I don't know, maybe she's my mom, but that's weird.
I like how she adds like extra like signature, time signatures into stuff where it wasn't. That's one of their... that band, when they first broke, the Pretenders, they were great. I really liked them. And of course, they lost two of those guys in a short period of time, and she kept going. That's really something.
Yeah, that band and Foghat, I had backwards. I used to think when they first came out, the Pretenders, I thought they were a British band, and Foghat, I thought was an American band.
Foghat. What was their hit again, Phil?
Their biggest one was Fool for the City, but they had a lot of pretty good tunes.
Slow Ride.
That's right.
Those are that Slow Ride and Fool for the City, you'd always hear them at like a carnival or something, like, you know, when the carnival came to town and you go on those cheap rides, they always had Foghat blasting.
Those rides that they blast the music and go around in a circle forwards and backwards till you throw up. Those are my favorite.
Ada offered to start singing. She wanted to sing the lyrics. I told her to pop.
Well, Slow Ride, not a lot of lyrics, so yeah.
I really don't like that. It's boring. It's the concept. I give him a B+, but no, and no.
Well, Stone Blue is my favorite Foghat tune, so check it out when you get a chance.
Is that like two Rolling Stones and you turn blue?
Yeah.
I gotta watch what I listen to when I'm live streaming, man. There's been all these crazy copyright strikes and stuff on these Twitch streams and this and that. So, like, if I accidentally have my desktop audio coming through and I pull up a song even for like a second, like, you get a copyright strike and you could get banned on the spot.
Wow.
Or Clark, if that's Clark. Hey, Billy, you would know this then. Like on my silly YouTube channel, I put up a bunch of concert footage, you know, from real bands. And it shows that it's flagged for copyright. But from what I understood, if you don't monetize your channel, that's okay. Is that true?
Yeah, there's different levels of it. Like I've gotten copyright flags for using non-copyright music, and it just says, like, you know, you can never monetize this video, basically. So and then the thing with like live, well, actually no, if it's the band, because there's like ASCAP comes into play as well, and I know that was a big deal with all the cover bands working in these bars and stuff. Like, be like, oh crap, like ASCAP's here, like no show tonight. There's all kinds of stupid stuff, but I've had that too. But I'll search for non-copyright music and I'll play it as background music in one of my streams, so I don't get a copyright strike, but I get flagged for copyright, and their license will allow me to have that music for free on my stream. It's just I can never monetize those videos. So it's like, it's weird. There's a difference between, you know, a strike and a flag, I guess. But you know that. W2BTK.
Oh, yeah, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. I've got a bill for CSAC sitting on my desk that needs to be paid. So I know all about this. Phil, were you talking about YouTube? Because if it's YouTube, then you've got three choices. You can either prove that you own the rights to the song you featured, or you can pull it down, or you can say you can waive your rights to monetize it, and then YouTube has the right to monetize your channel, and they'll take the funds from that and direct it to the owner of the royalty holder for the music you feature. I think those are very real and useful solutions.
Well, I don't notice any commercials. There's probably about 10 videos that I've got up, and I'm pretty sure they all play without commercials, and I don't make any money from the YouTube channel. I don't monetize anything on it. So they let you do it, but I do know that on Facebook, if you put out anything, like 5 seconds or 10 seconds worth of music, they send you a nasty gram and they threaten you with banning and all that stuff. And that makes no sense to me, because I don't think you can monetize your Facebook channel. So why would they have such a problem with that, but I don't know. Maybe that's licensing companies and ASCAP. I guess that must be it. You probably know the answer after I unkey. Here it comes.
W2
Yeah.
every week.
The answer is because Facebook doesn't have a revenue model from users. So whereas YouTube does, you post stuff to YouTube, it can be monetized, and so they act as an agency. Facebook does not. Facebook doesn't have a way of saying, oh, okay, you can go ahead and put that on there. Although technically, I guess they could, because they could take some of the money that's on the ads that are seen when people go to your Facebook page. I don't know. I think that Facebook just doesn't have an arrangement. That's why.
W2PHL. Well, it's all very interesting, and I haven't gotten any, emails from YouTube saying take it down or anything like that. So I guess it's all good. And hey, one of my videos has got like 3,000 hits on it. That's pretty cool.
There's Twitch, right? So Twitch has like dropped the ball. All these streamers, playing music on the thing, they never really did anything about it. They never bought any licensing, and they just kind of let it go. Like, oh yeah, we're a tiny little website. Well, guess what? Not so much anymore, and they're backed by Amazon, so they could totally afford those licenses. Anyway, they just started banning tons and tons and tons of accounts, deleting any clips that had like music in them and this and that. It was a whole big thing. It like ruined a lot of people who do Twitch full time. But anyway, like the arrangement, they had this thing called Twitch Sings, right? And it was an actual like service that Twitch had. You could download it. It was like a game, and you sing karaoke over songs, like that were out there, and it was like a feature of Twitch. So like that got completely shut down, and they were like, no, and it was like a huge thing. I don't even know what's happening with it, but like that's how much Twitch dropped the ball with all this crap. So everybody's like, they're just freaking out. Like everybody's afraid to do anything.
I'm not afraid to do anything.
Well, why don't you play music on your ham station?
I think I'm going to sample the best part of the, what is that, the monotooth net, and speed it up or slow it down and play it backwards and put it on my new release.
Don't they do that already?
Monotooth, nice.
Classic tracks of the monotooth net. Oh wait, I promised never to say that. I retract that last comment.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say monotooth net. What's wrong with you? Only us guys can say monotooth net, because it's really not nice to say that, even though it's probably 100% accurate. So don't say monotooth net again, Clark, okay?
Speaking of not nice, I heard you guys were talking smack about BLM. At least that's what Jeremiah told me. He said there were 3 crackers on 3885.
Yeah, BLM was my friend. That was Dougie, and he died. He had a heart attack. W2BTK. So that's what happened to him.
Man, well, yeah, I don't know. We weren't talking smack. We were just talking about it. And where I think, I heard some of the funding goes, and I don't know if it's true or not. I was just throwing it out there. Please fact check me. But anyway, monotooth net, monotooth net, monotooth net, monotooth net. There you go. And Clark, that was an interesting QSO yesterday. I think you dropped 3 expletives in a row on 3885. Not that I'm drawing attention to that. I just thought it was funny.
No, I didn't.
If it's not on YouTube, it doesn't count.
It is.
You consider ass to be an expletive?
When used with the second word behind it, yeah. I mean, you're not allowed to say that on TV. You have to ask the FCC if you can follow that up with the word hole and still be okay. But the first word you said, definitely, I know that's no good.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
What if you say them out of order, say them backwards?
You're a whole ass.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's all over with. And I was at the transmitter the first time I heard the F word go out. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, wow. Was that directed to Nick Gregory?
No. I was also there when Sue Simmons, what the F you looking at? And I got a couple of phone calls that day. That's when they were still cracking down on that.
Oh, that Ernie Onassis clip is just, I can watch that over and over and over, and I still laugh.
Now, this doesn't have anything to do with Ernie Onassis.
No, but that was the one where he said, he meant to say, keep plucking those chickens. Oh!
Well, you know,
yes, it takes a strong
for hours and hours.
Tender chickens, so keep plucking those chickens.
People who are trying to be funny, they're going to make mistakes and go over the line. They need to have, it's not really funny, and it can get me in a lot of trouble with insurance for those guys.
Yeah, but who was the female co-host on there who was sitting as you're looking at the TV screen to the left? Oh, the look on her face. That's actually the funny part. Because when he said that, he's just like a freight train, you know. He says, keep plucking those chickens. Ha, ha, ha. And the look on her face is she looked like she just swallowed a basketball. I know she's thinking, that's it. We're all out of here. We're done. This is our last newscast.
2 Tango Juliet Victor.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I heard you and Clark in the chat. Just stop in and say hi.
Well, hello. Yeah, you got a couple people out here. Dave VW, Phil, W2PHL, Clark, and myself. So let's see who's hearing you. I hear you fine here as usual. Uh-oh. I guess I'm the only one hearing you there, Paul.
Hey, yup.
What can you do? Well, everybody has said what's up. I'll sit on the side and monitor. I don't want to interrupt the QSO.
All right, sounds good. Sorry about that. I'm hearing you, but I'm the only one hearing you. So thanks for understanding. You know, if conditions get better, key it up. We'll try it again. You know, wait a little bit. So, well, sorry about that. Back over to you guys, W2BTK. Hi, Billy. Hi. Connor? Yeah? Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, Connor.
I lost a push to talk. Yes?
Am I coming in better today than last night?
Just...
Yeah, man. My rotor is stuck at 310 degrees, and you should be like 7 degrees. So you're in the null, man. When I get this working, and the wind will actually put it back to where it starts working if I wait for a windy day. When I get this working, that's going to be an easy circuit.
Indeed. I'm on the station right now. Let's see what we're running for power. We're only running 115 watts of carrier, look at that. But we're on a phased array.
Yeah, you're probably putting a signal into Europe or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Connor, can you, like, this maybe be an okay time to do it. Not that I'm one to talk, but can you, like, lower your percentage of modulation a little bit? That video you sent me of the oscilloscope, I was looking at it, and you're really if you've got some kind of negative peak compression or negative peak limiter or clipper or something, and you're getting into it, man, it's like, you know, if you back that down a little bit, I'm pretty sure it would sound very, very pleasant.
Well, that was the home radio in the video of. But here, I'll do this. I'll turn off the processor. Is now I need to raise my modulation because I'm not modulating. W4IPC.
Yeah, that might be a little better. Let me groove on that for a little while.
Yeah, we gotta go bring a refrigerator AM transmitter up to that site. Set it up for remote. Let those contest guys use that.
I hear a lot of distortion on that signal. Hey, I'm back. What did I miss?
I'm telling you, I'm going to do the AM rally. I want to do that AM rally. So one of them big refrigerator transmitters. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'd be making pile-ups on AM.
Yeah, problem with that is somebody will say, oh, it's not a contest, blah, blah, blah.
Wah, wah.
Oh, it's dinner time. I'll be back. Wow. 17-year-old voice back.
Young kids are always eating.
Hi, Connor.
So I went up to nighttime P-sub-O here, Billy. W2VW.
Man, I keep stepping away. What'd you say there, Dave?
Pick up whoever called in there. I can't hear him. I think you can, though.
Yeah, who is that? Sorry, I stepped away from the operating position and I didn't have the volume up. So come on back. Let's see who that is. I can hear a little bit, but the lightning crashes are all but swallowing you up. When there's no crash, you're fine. I hear you, and then when they crash, you're gone. I heard you say you guys, but that's all I got from that.
Maybe you hear me a little bit better now. 685.
I heard, are you guys?
Yeah, I'm only getting bits and pieces with the lightning crashes. Like I said, if there were no crashes, I'd hear you fine, but it's pretty rough conditions right now. So QRO operation is kind of, well, what you need to talk over this lightning stuff.
No, I copy. I to see what frequency.
Oh, that's Paul. I got you that time, and we're on 3885 or thereabouts. We're all, well, some of us are running drifty old VFOs, so I'm slightly above 3885, but that's basically where we're talking.
Yeah, QSL. That's why I was so that's why you want to be as clear as you are now.
Roger. Yeah. It's rough though, Paul. It's a little rough. Sometimes you pop up and it's real good, and then you'll get into a fade, and I can't hear anything. So, I don't know.
No worries. Thanks. Have a good 7. I'll be listening.
All right, good stuff. Where's Phil? Where's Clark? They're just gonna leave if don't leave.
That was a 2 for the price of 1 transmission. Well, thanks for the kind invitation to stay, but I gotta bail, so I'll catch you guys later. W2PHL.
Well, take care, Phil. I'm going to do the same in a minute here. Always nice talking with you. 73. And enjoy dinner or whatever you're up to. W2 very much.
Exactly. 7-3, guys. I think Billy and Clark and Rob I heard on the telephonium, and of course you, Dave. I'll catch you guys later.
Roger.
See you later, Phil. W2BTK.
I wonder if we could start a hate mail net.
Easy. Oh, easy.
Yeah, you know, you'd have some material. Maybe one night a week.
I don't get do you get a lot of hate mail? I mean, I get like comments and stuff, but it's not, you know, I could try to provoke more of them. It might make for good radio.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some people down there a little bit. Remember that guy? That'd be a lot of fun.
Sort of counting my coins at this point, but I've got a lot of other stuff going on.
The guy whose vanity call sign was picked by Laura Smith.
I Vifoed down somebody down the band. Like right now?
No, a little further down. That guy, you know, the guy whose call sign was picked by it's a vanity call sign, but Laura Smith picked it.
Oh, like the whiskey guy?
Yeah, it turns out if you have more than 2 W's in your call sign, there's something really wrong with you.
I haven't gotten any hate mail. I just know that we're on the wall of shame, and we're a bunch of snowflakes. But it's really comical. That was great. I mean, that was a really fun QSO also, you know. And hey, we just fired up on a free frequency and talked for about a half an hour before we started having problems.
I'm thinking that he didn't like the rate the Cormer part of our QSO where we rated their cornering abilities. What did I give him, a D+?
Nah, you gave him like a pretty high grade. I was surprised, and I really handed it to him. I gave him, I don't know, maybe a D or an F, because it just wasn't effective. There was nothing that they could do to stop us from having a pleasant conversation on ham radio. So they failed.
Well, they failed in more ways than just that. I mean, they failed in pretty much everything. But they all get together and fail with each other on the same frequency. That's what it's all about.
Yes, QRM camaraderie and, you know, brotherhood. The International Brotherhood of Queen Romeo Mike.
International. I had to drop out of high school because I couldn't hack social studies. That's what that is.
That's real sad. I don't know. It's fun though. Like that kind of stuff doesn't get me mad at all. Like it's actually really fun because well, I mean, you remember I've changed a lot since I was doing chicken band stuff, but you kind of remember like my whole spiel when I was doing that. It's like it fuels me. It's you know, it's nice.
Yeah, I understand. Well, yeah, you used to have a lot of fun, and you had the whole thing worked out and all of that. That's the thing. People get off of CB as a Wild West, and they get an amateur ticket, and they get on here, and they want everything to be They want everything to be perfect and people to be adults, but then when they're not, they get really mad. They get angry. We need more rules.
We got plenty of rules. It's just I don't think people really follow them. And then the worst thing about ham radio, and this wasn't really that much of a problem on the chicken band, are double standards. Yeah, double standards. You get all pissed off at somebody for doing something, and then a week later you're doing it, but in a little bit of a different way. It's still doing it. And it just invalidates everything, you know? It's like, why don't you just shut up? That's why we have words for things like really good words that we use on the chicken band, like mud duck. And everybody knows what that is and what it means and the behavior of a mud duck. And, like, I don't know, you get off of there for a year and a half and you forget all about it.
Hey, whatever happened with the Prime Minister there, the big CB key down guy who got on AM Facebook and Facebook Classic sites? I thought those guys don't like CB or anything to do with CB or Chicken Band or Citizens Band or Part 95 or CB and CB radios or CB operators. And that guy is I believe Prime Minister is a CB radio operator, isn't he? Besides being a rap singer, isn't that the guy that came out with that tune, Every Woman Loves a Man, with a great big Junction transmitter? Or, I got the lyrics wrong.
Yeah, and no excuses on the bowl. And no, you're right. He's one of the biggest CB operators. And yeah, he's on the AM Classic Forum. Welcome with open arms. But that's an example of a double standard. You see, they like him. They don't like other people that talk about CB stuff. So, you know, it's kind of pick and choose and this and that. Double standards, you know. It's a part of ham radio, and there's certain people that made it that way. But I will say about the Prime Minister, he's releasing a lot of YouTube content lately, and he's got a really nice shop. He builds stuff, man. He's a big home brewer. I mean, he's making large tube amps. He makes them from scratch. He's got like AutoCAD or some kind of program. He makes all the enclosures himself. He laser cuts, you know, the tube socket areas and this and that, designs the whole thing from scratch, builds the stuff. He's building his own antennas, and like he's got it going on, man. He's a real operator. He does it on 27 megacycles, but I think he'd fit in right here, you know. I mean, he does stuff, man. He's not one of these guys who like bought everything and just like runs it or whatever, like, oh, look at my hammer. No, he homebrews, and he really does stuff, and it's cool stuff, like big stuff. So I got a lot of nice things to say about him, and I follow his YouTube content, and I think it's great.
Yeah, that's amazing. Somebody with that kind of talent. He's still doing the key down thing. No, that's got to get bored. You know, maybe not. Anyway, yeah, you should get on here and hang out. Very interesting stuff. All right, Billy, I got Din Din coming up. Maybe I'll be back later. You just never know. So thanks for the fine business, QSO. And glad to see your Twitch stream up and running, and it's looking pretty good, and I guess you got most of the glitches out of it, and you're improving every day, so that's great. So enjoy the radio. W2BTK and anybody else that's still out there, like Clark, but you never know when Clark is really out there. From W2 very weak here on Beechwood Mountain.
All right, Dave. Yeah, another one in the books. It's always nice talking to you. So enjoy dinner. I know it's going to be good. And I'll see you later. W2BTK. Hanging out and listening.
Yeah, KC2JNI.
Goodness.
Hey, Clark. I heard a JMI key up about 5 kilohertz away on another frequency. I'm not sure if that was to us or if he's talking to someone on 3880. But if it was, hello. If it wasn't, oh, sorry. What's going on, Clark? JMI, yes, you're on frequency now, and Clark's back. What's going on there, JMI?
Oh, actually nothing. I mean, you must be local to me because you're beating me out. Where are you?
I'm up here on Montana Mountain, and yeah, your signal is tremendous here. I'm just about overloading my receiver.
Yeah, same down here. I'm in San Diego, New Jersey.
There's actually so much signal, it's a little hard to understand. Clark, are you hearing JMI?
Absolutely. Well, that was profound.
No, that was a little quick, and the static crash jumped up. But yeah, hello. Hey there, neighbor.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm down here in New Jersey, and I had to put my attenuator on because all I heard was you guys. Just you were like wiping me out. It was funny.
Oh, 20. Well, I'm 20 dB over S9.
Almost like a 40 plus over here.
Oh, then what were you saying about 20? You can hear me on 20 meters? You took a deep fade there. Your signal went way down. So I'm still a little confused where exactly you're located and what you were saying about 20. Like, if you heard me on 20, that's really bad.
No, I heard you 20 cycles from here. 20 cycles down, and it's Kilo Charlie 2, Juliet Lima, India. I mean Sandy Hook, New Jersey.
Oh, JLI, okay. Yeah, copy Sandy Hook. So yeah, we've got some distance between us. The guy who's just on here, W2VW, is a lot closer to you than I am, but I have some really good line of sight there, and I'm about 1,000 feet higher than you up here on Montana Mountain. So yeah, running about legal limit power. And you got N1BCG out there as well. He's up in Connecticut. So let me include him in here because he just got back.
Yeah, and you were being criticized because you were 20 cycles low, so straighten up and fly right, Bill.
Yeah, well, I'm running a VFO that was designed in the 1940s, so it looks like I'm just above 3885, so I apologize. Not that it really matters when you're using amplitude modulation. I mean, I heard you're on 3880, and I heard you just fine. And we're a lot closer to 3885, so it just goes to show it's really not that important on AM. Single sideband, yes. AM, no. This is W2BTK.
Everyone's got an excuse.
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. So then you're in the same area as me. All right. So, because, I mean, you were like 60 over and 40 over and, you know, it was like...
Yeah, it must just be the conditions. I'm not too sure. I know I put a pounding on Dave's receiver. He's down there in Beechwood, New Jersey, and he usually gives me a similar report, but I dialed in my settings so that I was 15 dB over S9 in the Bronx when I was talking to Phil. So, Clark, what's my S meter reading up there in Connecticut?
Bill puts the hurt on most people's receivers. I don't know. I can say over.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I've got everything kind of turned down right now. Let's see. I've got my fancy peak reading watt meter. Yeah, I'm not even doing legal limit right now.
Another gold stars too. And by the way, thanks for trotting through the trenches with the rest of us, sub-legal limit dregs.
Yeah, well, I got on here with 40 watts before, and it was just barely cutting it, so I kicked the power up because, honestly, the conditions tonight merit that. It's not a QRP night.
Hey everybody, speaking of reception, a couple of reception announcements. First of all, Radio Corsair will be on 1.71 megahertz. That's right. Let that sink in. Because it's Friday night, and then tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, and just 25 hours from now, Ladies' Night returns to 3885. Get your YLs on the air tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, 3885 a.m. There. Now we've got the whole playbill filled out.
And thank you for the safety report.
Yeah, no problem. There's somebody trying to get in there with some really low audio, and that other station keyed up right on top of you. But why don't you try it again?
I didn't mean to keep you on because I was putting out a signal. This is KC2 Lima X-Ray Delta.
Yeah, KC2 Lima X-Ray Delta. I hear you here on Montana Mountain in New Jersey, and the name is Bill. My call's W2BTK, and you've got Clark out there in Connecticut, and I didn't write down the other guy's call. He's up and down, but there's a few people on frequency here. I wonder if anybody. Clark, are you hearing KC2 LXD?
I am. What's your name and where are you located? You've got Clark, N1BCG in southwestern Connecticut.
Okay, I think you say your name was Bill. And Clark, I didn't get all of your call in one question mark, and I know there's probably some others on. Romeo Oscar Denmark. I'm in Long Island, New York, and this is my first time on AM, so I wasn't sure if I would be able to work on this with the antenna. So if you can just give me a quick signal report, I'll let you guys get back to your QSO, and I can't stay here long because the XYL is calling me.
All right. Well, glad you jumped in. Yeah, the signal here, because I'm right across Long Island Sound from you, although depending upon where in Long Island you are, but you're about, it's fluctuating. In Connecticut, it's like peaking at about a 5 over S9 and then goes down a bit. But what town in Long Island are you?
Okay, I'm in a town called Dallas. I'm about 25 miles east of New York City. 25 miles east of New York City, and like I said, this is my first time on AM, so I'm glad you were able to hear my signal. I'm only running 25 watts. I'm not even all that familiar with AM. I just heard you guys in there, and I just kind of tuned you guys in because you were coming in real strong. But I'm just running 25 watts. I'm on a Kenwood TS1000. And the antenna is a G5 up about 45 feet.
Well, you're doing everything right because the rig is 100 watts piece. You're at 25 watts, which is perfect. It sounds good on AM. And I do know where Valley Stream is. Okay, very good. Well, Bill, why don't you pick it up with them? But like I said, you're peaking at about a 5 over S9 here, straight up north on the other side of Long Island Sound here in Connecticut. N1BCG.
Yeah. KC2 LXD W2BTK. I think you said your name was Rod, if I got that correct. You do sound good on the Kenwood, especially at 25 watts. I don't have an S-meter reading on this receiver, but I can give you a signal-to-noise ratio, which is actually very good. You were peaking just above 50 dB above the noise, and, you know, kind of up and down, anywhere between 40 and 50 dB above the noise. And just to give you a relative idea, I'm hearing Clark about 60 dB above the noise. So he's running about 10 times the power that you are. So it makes perfect sense that G5RV is working very well. And you've got a good signal up here on Montana Mountain. So it's kind of nice to hear that, you know, you're on AM for the first time, and it's a pleasure to work you. Hopefully you decide to do it more, because your station's working very well. And like I said, my name is Bill, located on Montana Mountain here in New Jersey.
I'm going to have to take my daughter to her graduation. Her friend, matter of fact, she's having a almost like a prom party. So I'm going to get her momentarily. But you guys put a on my face, and I'm just curious. What is normally the power that people run? Recently, my Kenwood TX2000 does not go beyond 20. So I'm just curious to know, what is the power that people normally run?
Well, most people, I would say, that talk out here regularly, Rod, are running a lot of boat anchors, a lot of Class E transmitters, and the typical power level would be around 100 watts of carrier power. Now, that's usually times 4, times 5 if you look at it in a peak reading setting. So it would be about 100 watts carrier modulated to 400 or 500 watts total peak envelope power. And that's probably the most common power level. I think Clark's running about 200 watts of carrier. And myself, at the moment, I'm about the same. I'm running about just over 200 watts of carrier power.
Amazed how smooth the audio is, how such a across the airways. So anyway, I gotta go. My daughter's calling me. Thanks for the information. Nice to meet you, Clark, and whoever else is on. And I'll try to stop by another day. But it sounds like I will probably have to get an amplifier and use the 25 watts in the radio to drive it. That's what it sounds like. Because when I got higher than 25 watts in the TX2000. I wish you guys a good day and let you have. And thanks for coming back to my station here on Long Island. This is
All right, Rod. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, and hopefully had fun on AM. I'll keep it short. I know you have to go. I actually heard your daughter in the background. So 7-3 from W2BTK, and I'll throw it over to Clark and let him say 7-3.
Yeah, we're here a lot on this frequency or nearby. This is where you can find a lot of AM on 75 meters, Rodney. So enjoy your evening. Happy Father's Day this weekend, since you got your daughter there. Enjoy it. Hope to talk to you soon. 7-3 and 1BCG.
Okay. Again, guys, I really appreciate that. Like I said, you put a smile on my face. I'm glad that this radio has the capability to work hands. I like the way the audio sounds. So anyway, I wish you guys happy Father's Day as well, if you are fathers. And anyway, enjoy your day. Stay here in New York. It's about 75 degrees, maybe 80 degrees. now. Make Delta
There you go. Another successful contact. First time AMer. Makes my day.
Yeah, that's nice to hear, and it just goes to show you, you don't need a bunch of power. I mean, on a night like tonight with all the lightning crashes, yeah, it would make it a little more comfortable to raise that power level a little, which it just makes it easier. But by no means was I having any trouble hearing them. So 25 watts in a rice box is all you need to enjoy AM. There you go, W2BTK.
Yeah, it was pretty upsetting to see a post on, was it QRZ? These guys were talking about in some AM net, and a guy on sideband tried to check in. They said, yeah, we chased him off. It was hysterical. It's on video. It's like, that's just pathetic. Really? A guy on sideband tried to check into your AM net? If I were holding an AM QSO...
Tonto Gamer, man. Thanks for the follow. Good stuff, man. Glad you're enjoying the channel.
If you have AM on that rig, if you do run AM, and help him get converted over. And if he's running a rig that just does not have AM, then you talk to him for a minute. Give him the frickin' time of day, people. God, that just pisses me off so much when people are so arrogant. Well, you need to use the mode we're using. That's true. But don't throw them off the frequency and laugh about it. That's kind of disgusting.
Yeah. No, that's, I don't know. We've all been guilty of it here and there. But I don't know. Maybe the guy doesn't have AM or whatever, just wants to use his radio. But it's one of those things, Clark. It is. It's one of those things. There's lots. We were talking about double standards before and this and that. But the thing about it, Clark, is I think it would work exactly the same way. Like if I were to fire up AM in the middle of some sideband activity or this or that, I've really never gotten a warm welcome. So there's a lot that needs to change, and it goes both ways.
How would they know? Seriously, how would a sideband, if there were some guys talking on sideband and you jumped in on their QSO, how would they know you're not on sideband?
Well, it kind of sounds like boop. I don't have a modern rig that's like super dead nuts on frequency, so I'm never quite on frequency, and they know. They also see, the wideness of the signal, usually at least twice as wide. But I'm just saying, it works both ways. I've been chased off of a lot of places. And for the most part, people that operate sideband, I would say a large percentage, maybe 50-60%, hate AMers, like HATE. They want it banned. So I've met many people like that. So it works both ways. Yep, everybody's wrong, and we need to change it.
That's right. AM lives matter. Listen, a couple of things there. Yeah, okay, when you first said they hear the heterodyne of the carrier, I was about to say no. As a matter of fact, while you were talking, I was saying no, that's not true. But you're right. If you're off frequency enough, because here's the thing, it's very interesting. A lot of these sideband receivers, they have no reception whatsoever of below maybe like 1 or 2 kilohertz, 1 or 2 cycles. So you could be off by, let's say up to 100 and something hertz, and they'd never notice. But yeah, if you were more than that, then they'd start hearing it. But the other thing is, but if you were right on their frequency, like if you tuned them in and you zero beat your receiver so that you match their frequency, they would Definitely not no. Now, if they had an SDR and they're looking at it and they see a carrier, oh my God, and another sideband, oh, then yes. And if that really freaks them out, then they have a real, self-esteem issue. Big deal, people. God, this whole AM sideband rivalry is just so incredibly unnecessary. It's kind of like racism. Anyway, but I have been on sideband QSOs, and they never knew. And sideband stations that check in here, I talk to them. I mean, I tell them, I was like, this is a little inconvenient because I'm listening to you on sideband and I'm talking on AM, and for everyone else, they have to jump back and forth between AM and sideband when you and I talk back and forth. So it's really kind of inconvenient for them. So it really would be good if you switched to AM, and then we don't have to do that. And all of them were cool about it. There was one guy that I actually remember, and this is a couple of months ago, said, I don't have AM, so I won't keep you guys, but thanks for coming back to me. And he was happy about that. He was happy that I didn't, run him off the frequency. What the hell? Why? It's like it's like we forget we're all ham radio operators, and we're either AMers or we're sidebanders, but we're not ham radio operators. What's up with that? Inland BCG.
Okay, Clark, I'm getting a little bit more information about this now. So this guy who keyed up on single sideband during this AM net, he's a guy who flips radios, right? And he has plenty of AM stuff. There was no reason why he couldn't get on AM. So I think he may have been doing it to be rude. And that's just a little more context into all of this, but I think he was messing on. It was on the AM swap net. Hold on one sec. Okay, so this guy, he was in the AM swap net like 1991, and this guy tried to start his own AM swap net on 3885 because sideband works better, blah, blah, blah. Guess who ran him off? Apparently this guy is not, a stand-up guy who just didn't have the ability to get on AM. He did. He flips radios, had plenty of AM stuff going on, and he decided to check in on sideband to, ruffle the feathers. So there's just a little bit of context into that particular situation. And on a happier note, we've got a check-in on Twitch from Malaysia. We've got 9 Whiskey 2 Papa Zulu checking in on Twitch there from Malaysia, and we're going to try to schedule an FT8 contact. How about that, Clark?
Well, good.
So there you go. But yeah, there's a little context for you into that whole thing. So I don't feel too bad for the guy. He was trying to ruffle feathers. Anyway, W2BTK.
I'll try again. Whiskey 3, Oscar Hotel.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Billy. How you doing? I doubled with you a second ago. And hello, Clark. How you guys doing this evening?
As good as we want and better than we should.
Well, that is very, very good.
Yeah!
So, Bill, how do you know all this? How do you know that this happened, 30 years ago?
I've got sources of information. I've got little birdies everywhere.
All right, so here's the deal. Dealing with obnoxious people. If you get all upset and they know they ruffle your feathers, they win, you lose, and that's how the story ends. If some guy gets on sideband and is trying to piss you off, there's another word, and you just talk to them like a normal op, if they're trying to piss you off, they'll get bored and go, oh, why? In the meantime, you don't come across sounding like an a-hole for running them off the frequency. I just don't understand what all the, the us and them crap is about.
Well, like I said, both sides are wrong, and we need to change it. There you go. Dave, what do you have to say about it?
Oh, boy. I don't know. I think the little part I heard about the conversation, if someone chimes in on the frequency in single sideband, I don't know. I think Clark had it right. Hey, we're on AM. If your radio does AM, why don't you give it a shot? If not, talk to him for a second and then go back to your AM conversation. I don't know what happened with the other guy. I don't know. Too many people get butt hurt too easy. Did I say butt hurt?
Hey, Clark, you should write an article or something and publish it in a magazine.
Nobody's gonna be moved by an article like that. It's like politics. Once you have it in your head where you stand, nothing anybody says, no matter how much sense it makes, is going to change your mind. I mean, that seems to be the way of society these days. You like what you like, you don't like what you don't like, and no matter what, nobody is going to convince you you're wrong. Your ship will go down to the bottom of the ocean with you at the helm in the bridge being wrong because you're principled to do that. That's what society is like these days. Nobody learns anything from anybody.
Thought I heard the theme song for Titanic starting to play.
Yeah, it's like Jack and what's-her-face were... what was that? Did the Titanic really sink because those two were making out? Oh, no, wait a minute. That was Hollywood. Never mind.
Yeah, the famous scene where Rose slaps her hand on the foggy glass. Yeah.
Anyway, I guess what kind of ticks me off about the whole thing is that this whole sideband AM rivalry crap is just that. It's unnecessary. I mean, I see where there's friction because the sideband operators do need to understand that AM is two sidebands, not one. You can't cozy up to an AM QSO and think, oh, this is fine just because you're used to doing sideband stuff. But it does work both ways. Anyway, all right. I'm going to put the cross down now. And one BCG.
I don't get it. I do both, single sideband and AM. Some mornings you wake up and you want to do AM. Some mornings you wake up and you want to do single sideband. Awesome. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of different formats, right? There's digital, EW, there's AM, there's single sideband, and everybody should be able to enjoy all aspects of it. Just because you do one and not the others, I don't know. I don't get it. Whatever. I like doing both, and learn how to operate on both.
Hear, hear. And if you only do one thing all the time, it's not good. You need to diversify. I get out there on slop. I have my Kenwood 440 hooked up right now. I could switch over to that thing, and we could all talk on sideband, but somewhere else, I guess. I don't know. I would leave this. There's a lot of AM regulars here, so you know what? I would slide off somewhere else and let the AM happen that usually happens, and or I could just start talking on sideband, but I think that'd be kind of rude.
And I think FT8 is God's gift to ham radio. All right, now you're going to see a bunch of ham radio operators burning down buildings and looting Best Buy. You watch.
Oh man, I can run down to. I wonder if anyone ever looted the ham radio outlet store in Virginia. That would be pretty cool. I mean, I would never do that, obviously, but, you know, instead of stealing a pair of Nike sneakers, it'd be more fun to run in and, I don't know, grab a full legal limit amplifier. I don't know. What else did I grab? A couple other cool radios.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. I'm dying here. Yes. And when BCG gets on the air and starts talking about how FT8 is awesome, next thing you know, HRO is looted and people are running off with amplifiers and rigs and antenna tuners and stuff like that. Because you know what? Nothing makes life better than a brand new rig. It just, you can tolerate people saying FT8 is great as long as you have a new amp, right?
Did I ever tell you how I almost got kicked out of HRO the one time I was there? The guy came over to help me, was asking questions about a big fancy, I guess it was like an ICOM or something, and I asked the guy if the large VFO knob on the front, I said, oh, what's this knob for? Is that the echo knob? And like he very, very politely was like, look, like, don't F with me or I'll ask you to leave.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask him if it had 11 meters on it.
I more or less did with the echo knob comment.
But Bill, you know, you're so see-through. I mean, as some people would say, you're so simple. You thrive on pissing people off, and I think that people are getting it now. So we're not really surprised anymore.
It was a legit question.
No, it was not. You were there to piss him off.
The customer is never wrong, though. You know, he could have answered it, just said no. You know, but I don't know.
I would have gone with it, man. I would have totally messed with you. I would have had fun with it, buddy. I mean, if I'm stuck in there having to sell radios and you ask me if that thing is the echo control, I'm going to run with it. And tell you the radio can be easily modded to get a higher peak power. The talkback is big. Everybody loves the talkback feature, right? I mean, yeah, I would have totally gone with that.
Yeah, see, and that's my litmus test. It's not, Clark, that I like to piss people off. It's just that I put my feelers out in a much different way than most people, and that's how I profile them. I say, okay, this person's cool. This person is not cool. If they can deal with a little bit of BS, for the most part, it's somebody that I want to associate with. But if they've got no tolerance for it and harumph, you know, like, then, well, there you go. It's just my little litmus test. And that's all it is. And, you know, you find out who's who real quick like that. And it's effective. That's the bottom line. I like to be effective.
What, someone you want to hang out with? What, the sales guy at HRO? Like you guys are going to go out and do beers or something?
No, it's just, you know, you can judge someone very quickly like that. If they have, you know, if they, like Dave had the perfect response to that. Like if he wanted to joke around about it a little bit, or like could get past all of his preconceived, like this and that, this is right, this is wrong. Like, no, all right, so like this guy's yanking my chain a little bit. I like that. I'm going to yank his chain back, you know? Or it's just like, no, screw you. I'm going to get all butthurt about it, and that's how I find different types of people, that's all.
Let me see if I got it. I did something similar, you know, being a mountain bike guy, and, you know, we travel all the time and go to cool places to mountain bike. So I walk in, and, you know, mountain bikes can be, you know, pretty expensive. They, you know, $10,000, $12,000, you know, drop $10K on a bike. So I like to go in and buy, you know, I go right up to one of the more expensive ones, grab a $10,000 bike, start checking it out, eyeing it up, and when the guy comes over or the girl comes over, I ask if I can get a carbon fiber kickstand.
And there you go. He either gets all butthurt and, like, you know, hates you for it, or, like, he has a real good time and you guys become friends.
the sales guy at HRO. Really good friends.
Well, you see, you're missing the point completely.
Well, yeah, because I'm like over 50, so I'm clueless.
Family and friend discount.
I just wanted to see what kind of guy he was, you know? Not like I was trying to hang out with him. I do that regularly with, like, people that I meet, you know? It's... If you screw with somebody, you find out real quick what they're like.
Yeah. It's like falling asleep in the drive-thru at Wendy's. You find out what the police are really like.
Well, you probably should wrestle with the police officer, steal their taser, run with it, and then shoot the police officer is probably not a good idea. Not saying that he should have been shot, just probably not a good way to start off the incident.
Well, no, actually, that would have been the better example. So the guy wanted to screw with the police officer, so he took his taser, ran, turned around, and fired the taser at the police officer, you know, just to screw with him. And he got shot. That wasn't the right reaction.
Well, I think you're dragging it into a different context. I think there is a lot more at play with that than there is making a kind of crappy joke at a ham radio store. Just to, see, I could have had a crazy, like, nice conversation with that guy, if he had a little bit of a different personality. And that's just my immediate way to tell whether I'm going to clash with somebody or if I'm going to get along with them, and it probably would have been pleasant had he had a little bit of a different personality, but that's the fastest way to judge someone's personality, is to do something like that. Ask like a really stupid question like, hey, is this thing the echo knob? And depending on their response, like, you can almost immediately tell what kind of person they were. And I probably would have, sat there and BS'd with them and had a good time for as long as I was in the store, but instead it was like, no, just cut, slap off. Okay, like, cool. That was my test. I found out what I wanted to know, and there you go. What you're talking about has a lot more nuance to it. I mean, it's not the same thing. And if you sit there and try to argue that it is, or, use that as an analogy, then you're doing a disservice to yourself.
No, just putting my knee on your neck. All right, so hold on a second. I got my phone here. I'm going to get Flea Lips on the line, and we'll get a tiebreaker.
See, that guy, let me tell you something, Clark. He follows me around. I purged myself from all his domains on the internet and said, look, like, I'm out of here. You guys have fun. I'm not going to bother you. That's that. He showed up on my YouTube page today making, snide comments and stuff. So he misses me, man. He's following me around. What do you have to say about that?
I heard you say, what was it? You can straighten me out on the exact quote. Was it you have to love someone a little bit in order to hate them or something? Get straighten the quote out for me, right? So I got it right. That is actually funny. You're right. He's stalking you. You know what? Maybe you need to send him a video of you prancing around in a thong, and then that'll do it.
Yeah, or just, yeah, that would probably do it. I don't know. But the quote was, you can't hate somebody without loving them a little bit.
You can't hate someone without loving them a little bit. I need to let that sink in. I'm going to be staring at the ceiling as I fall asleep tonight, thinking about that over and over and over again.
The context is, hate is one of the strongest, things that there is in this world, right? In order to truly hate something, you have to care about it, and you have to care about it deeply. And that is, another way to say love. So there is no hate without love.
You know, I remember this girl I dated for a number of years. She and I would, when we fought, it was like banshees. It was like the world was going to stop and start spinning in the opposite direction. In the middle of one of her rants and raves, yelling at me, I was looking for something to say, like, the argument was raised to the level where if she had a gun, she would have used it on me. Material, so I decided, you know what? It's time to press the 4 buttons and turn the keys simultaneously and pull out the ultimate. And I just say, you know what I think is wrong here? You're madly in love with me. That's why you're arguing like this. Oh my God. I had to cover my man nuts after that. She was going after them with her hoof.
You're not allowed to be right, or like, not that you're not allowed to be right. And I'm sorry, Dave, I know you want to get in there, but if you're too right, when dealing with a woman, that's what happens.
There you go. Dating advice from Billy BTK.
All I was gonna say, Billy, is I hate mosquitoes. And there's not one single thing I love about them. Not a single thing. So, I don't know. And I'm going to have to think about the quote like Clark, but there's a good example. I don't think anybody would say they've ever loved a mosquito.
Mosquitoes in this way. They suck your blood and then they vomit into your skin. What's not to love about that?
Yeah, but you have to be so aware and care so much about not getting bitten by mosquitoes that in order to hate them. Like if you're not able to truly hate something. I mean, I'm sure that you dislike mosquitoes a lot. Maybe hate is the wrong word. But like, they have to be on your mind a lot. Like you wake up and think about mosquitoes if you truly hate them. And the fact that, you're thinking about mosquitoes means that, there's some level. I mean, nothing can occupy your mind that much unless you truly like. I don't know. Yeah, you guys could sit here and rip what I'm saying apart, but it has some element of truth to it.
It's thought-provoking.
I think it's the part about thrusting a proboscis deep within LL anyway.
What?
I'm talking about a mosquito sting. I was out years ago with this girl, Colleen. Golly, she was gorgeous. And no, it didn't work. And we're out at this hot dog and milkshake place, which is, by the way, famous for their hot dogs and milkshakes. And she and I both had milkshakes, and so she and the milkshakes were typically amazing, way too thick to use with a straw, but they still had straws. So she took her straw. This is just, you knew this wasn't going to work, and fired it into the milkshake, and she's trying to, get the milkshake up through the straw. And as she was doing this, she looked up at me. I said, "There's Colleen, the human fly, thrusting her proboscis deep within the victim." And she ended up getting chocolate milkshake up through her nose.
See, that's a good reaction.
Now, Clark, I assume it didn't go well because she was unable to get that milkshake through the straw. If she'd been able to suck that milkshake up through the straw, you probably would have married her, right?
This was a first date. I don't think I could have complimented on her skills at that point.
I tried to keep that family friendly.
Yes, this 3880 Live 85 is a family friendly frequency. Ooh, FFF. Even if I don't, maintain those standards. Don't worry about what I do. Just remember, family friendly frequency, Live 85.
Okay, fine.
I came down here with all intentions of trying to pull this 7 and 6 apart, and I'm already enough. One, I can't really read the schematics very well. Two, I'm touching things and looking for voltage. I don't know if it's supposed to be there or not, so I don't. You know what? I'm gonna put this thing down. It was cool opening it up, though.
Yeah, working on a 706 is not easy. I wouldn't do it. I would send it to somebody.
Yeah, I probably should do that. I thought I'd just check all the easy things. It's just it won't power on. So you would think that would be an easier thing to figure out. It's not like I'm trying to figure out if the mixers are working or the filters are working or signals are going through. I'm just trying to figure out why the damn thing won't power on.
Dave, by the way, how well you're hearing me? Because you took a bit of a dive there. Your signal went down from where you originally were. I just want to make sure that I've got enough in your receiver so you're not having to, like, strain it all.
No, I would say you're fine, Billy. You're coming in strong. Clark has been coming in stronger with every turn. I don't know. I may have gotten away from the mic a little bit. Hopefully this is better.
Yeah, all right. I calibrated my transmit power so that I was 15 dB over S9 in the Bronx in W2PHL's receiver, and I kind of left it there. So this seems like this works. We're peaking up just under legal limit. I got about a kilowatt of peak envelope power right now from 200 watt carrier. So we'll leave it there.
That's right.
Yeah, my son just came down to tell me that we're getting ready to get hit with a thunderstorm, so maybe the weather is not cooperating at the moment.
Oh, is that why the Coast Guard is doing this, like, half-hour marine weather advisory on Channel 22 Alpha that I'm hearing now? Yeah, I guess there is some kind of a thunder meteorological hoopla on its way.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of static crashes now. You guys are coming in great. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I'm looking at the radar. I don't know what he's talking about. There's a lot coming up the way.
Yeah, and don't touch that thing behind your dad's equipment right there. Keep your hands off that.
Getting loud here. Good evening, W3.
Hey, Perry. And that's funny you remember that, Clark. Yeah, I don't think he'll make that mistake again. Take it away, Perry.
Nope, just saying hi. Good evening, everyone. Just sit back and listen.
Alright, guys, I'm going to go step away for a few minutes. Apparently, Five Guys has arrived. And you know you got to get the french fries before they get cold.
Oh my God, Five Guys burgers and fries, you rock. How come I didn't get invited?
Never had them.
If there's any...
You're missing out, for sure. They got great fries. Sorry, Clark. I'll save you some. They probably won't be warm by the time you get here, though. And you have to let me know if you want the vanilla or chocolate milkshake.
Oh, the tradition is the chocolate milkshake. I love... You know, Five Guys burgers and fries, what a great idea. They just do, like, one thing super well, and my God, they kick ass at it.
Yeah, Dave, I'm surprised that there would be any fries left on the way home. Usually they get eaten in the car.
Have you seen the amount of fries they give you? For 4 of us, we order 1 large, and we still can't eat them all.
Are they regular style fries or like waffle fries like Chick-fil-A?
No, these are like, there was one thing that they kind of tout is they get their potatoes from Idaho, and they'll list out where their potatoes came for the day. They're a little bit bigger than, they're not like straw fries or anything but they're really good. And they give you, they'll fill up like the large cup full of French fries, and then it's like they take twice as much of that and dump it in the bag.
QSL. Sounds like a hearty meal.
You know, last time I got into a conversation about Five Guys burgers and fries on 75 meters, I was talking to, well, I won't say who it was, but I was going on and on and on about how great they are, and the burgers are made exactly the way you want. I mean, like, literally, they don't do anything until you walk in and you order it. That's how fresh they are. And the guy I was talking to, I won't say the call sign, goes, wow, I could do Five Guys. And you know what? No one came up for the next several seconds as we all let that sink in.
I'm going to go eat my fries. Whiskey 3 Oscar Hotel. Be back in a little bit.
See you later, Dave. And Clark, hey. We got to check in from W2XN here. So more hams finding us and listening. That's pretty cool. But he's not in New York, New Jersey. That 2-call. I always think that's pretty funny. You look somebody up, see where they are, and it doesn't. It's not, not the same district. But so I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, where is he?
I mean, I don't want to give him away, but not New Jersey. He lives in a very, very large state.
Uh-huh. Well, all right. I guess maybe he's just trying to sample what's going on back in the homeland.
Oh, okay. No, he said it in chat. So he's in Texas. And he moved. He said it was his brother-in-law's call before he was a silent key, so he's keeping it in the family. That's really cool, man.
Yes, it is. Very nice.
Yeah.
Man, now I'm thinking about Five Guys Burgers and Fries. What a great franchise. They opened up one of those right next to where I was working, and it was you can never get tired of that. Walking in there, they have these barrels. It's not an ad. Well, actually, they could sponsor N1BCG if they wanted. But anyway, yeah, you walk in there and they've got these barrels of peanuts. And so while you're waiting in line, you've got stuff to do. Just brilliant. You've got stuff to do. You start because you go there because you're hungry, and so as many peanuts as you want. Oh, and where do you throw the shells? You just throw them on the floor. It's no big deal. It's great. They're so well thought out, and I'm sure they're very well thought out.
Those peanuts are super fresh all the time, too. And I heard Dave saying, or it might have been Dave or someone else, we were talking about Five Guys the other night, and they started eating, the peanuts are so good, they started eating them whole. Like eating the shell and everything. And whoever was saying that said that is the way to go. And I guess you can only do that with the really good peanuts, but dang, I might try that. I haven't found a Five Guys up here by me yet. We had one down on Route 22 where I used to live. And there was also another joint that was similar called Smash Burger. And that place was really good, too. It was a little closer, so we would go there sometimes. But, yeah, between those two places, man, the burgers, oh, man. I could still get a good burger up here on the mountain about 2.5 miles away. The pizza place that we've got, Ciao Pizzeria, like Ciao Italian, CIAO, they do burgers as well, and they're on par, man. I mean, it's not quite the same as Five Guys, but they're, I would say, in their own way, just as good. And they got a bunch of kinds. I always go for like the jalapeno burger with all the hot stuff on it. That's my bag, baby.
It's quite a message.
Yeah.
Hey, Perry, are you still on?
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, I still need to do that road trip to Philly and, go nuts on the cheesesteaks. I mean, that's another thing. I know what, I love burgers, but I love cheesesteaks. I know the thing is you was it Pat's and the other one are right there. It's all the tourists go to, and you're saying that the best ones are actually the ones that the locals go to that no one knows about. Well, the tourists don't know about. That would be fun to hook up with a local, and actually go to some of these out of the way places. That's my favorite thing to do when I visit a new place. The two things I'll always do. If I go to a restaurant, I will always order what the local specialty is. I'll never order just whatever. If I go somewhere, far away, and it's you get the New York strip steak. Exactly no. I want to know what is popular here, and for what to drink. What's the local brew? Because you can never get that anywhere else. It's I'm going to order Budweiser. Gag me. I'll always do whatever the local microbrew is, because then you've lived. Then you've actually done something so unique. And by the way, if the locals like it, how bad can it be, right?
Yeah, well, it's funny you said that, because I was just scrolling through Facebook and saw a post about somebody's park job at Pat's and Gino's. Somebody got their foot ran over. But anyway, the thing is, there's so many good mom and pop cheesesteak places that aren't tourist traps. But I mean, if you were to really consider coming down, I would choose a place where there's other stuff to do around there as well as a really good steak sandwich. And there's so many different places, but Steve's Princess Steaks, there's Phil and Jim's, Jim's on South. I mean, there's countless places. So it would probably be just choose which one when that time comes. But what really makes it is the bread, man. It's all about the bread.
I thought it was all about the sauce.
The sauce? Well, there's no sauce on there. Some places like Phil and Jim's, you can get a Whiz Wit or a Whiz Without, which is what Cheese Whiz. But a lot of the mom and pop places don't offer Cheese Whiz. You can get American, provolone, and that's a real sandwich. You can get fried onions on it. You get a good Amoroso's roll or Atlantic City roll. And it really, really, really makes the sandwich. Obviously, the steak is a part of it as well, and the spices and how it's chopped. But to me, the roll is what sets it apart.
All right, Bill, I have an idea. Getting back to the shelled peanuts thing. We should do that. Set up a special event where people they can only check in to the special event if they're going to eat live on the air fully shelled peanuts. No picking them apart. You have to pop the whole thing in and munch it. We'll make the exception. It's okay to eat on the air. So you want to hear people go, disgusting. I think it's going to be pretty gross. Shells, they're all fibery and stuff like that and dry.
Well, speaking of that and eating things on the air, the chat for charity, that came to mind, because I mean, you're gonna have to eat on the air at some point. What if you do want to eat peanuts? And just real quick, because we got them on frequency. Perry, I did see your snide comment on my YouTube page that you deleted. I'm not sure if you're aware that I can see all that stuff, but I wanted to ask you about that as well.
Yes, I'm aware that you could see it, and I deleted it because I figured it was better to be deleted, so that's why I deleted it.
Okay, fine.
Sounds like that got worked out. If you're doing a fundraiser, Bill, for charity, if you're doing chat for charity, you can eat all you want on the air, because in that case, it's for a good cause.
Yeah, so you wouldn't get mad at me for doing that? What if I decided that I wanted to do a charity event right now? I mean, I could fire up and just put in my Twitch, we're going to be raising money for so-and-so, and then I would be allowed to eat on the air. Woohoo! Free pass. Oh, God, it's recorded, too.
Sure. And then you got to see the books. How much money did you raise? So was all that being rude on the air and was it all worth it? Did some charity really make some good cash? If they did, then that's great. Why not? See, the thing is it's considered, well, not like this hasn't been discussed ad nauseum, but I think people don't realize when you chew and you're talking into a microphone, you get all that processing, and it's kind of disgusting. It's not that it's rude, it's gross, because you've got some guy basically whispering in your ear with a saliva sloshing around like a washing machine with the front door open. I mean, it's really disgusting. That's what the issue is.
Yeah, I stopped doing it completely. I agree. And I noticed from listening back to all this stuff that I do have a lot of mic gain. Well, you know what it is? I close talk my mic and I leave the gain down, so you can hear when I take a breath. I don't think it's as bad on the air, but when you listen back on these recordings of my demodulated audio, which is like slamming into my receiver, you can totally hear every time I take a breath, and I'm very self-conscious about it now, Clark.
Oh no. There are some sidebanders who they have discovered the way to make it clear, like they don't have to do one of these things when they're taking a pause to think, so that people don't think that they're unkeying. Oh no. They just have so much compression that in between everything they say, you hear their, like this going on. So they're always fully modulated. So it's sort of that asthmatic sound, which is also kind of brain dead, but they think it's great. Which is interesting because they think it's great, and yet it sounds very brain dead. So it creates quite a contrast between what they think is amazing and what other people really think of it.
Yeah, I get that. I'm guilty of that on sideband too, though, because it just works differently. I mean, you can usually be a little more effective, and it's like the norm. Like, on CB, it's normal to sound very distorted, and when you don't, everybody's like, yo, like, what's wrong with your radio? On sideband, and they just run a crap ton of limiting compression, and even RF compression. I mean, RF compression, gosh, that's like the devil. That's Satan right there. But it's the sound, so. And for the reasons like you said, on Slot Bucket, you can't just take a pause like that. Like, you all know I didn't unkey. I got a carrier in there. But yeah, you gotta do silly stuff to keep your average power up, and then that's compounded by the fact that, and I'm guilty of this, but people have peak reading watt meters that they run and they stare at them when they talk. So look, I just got a big uptick. Look at that. Oh, it looks so good.
This is also a sign of ignorance. I know that now, again, people are going to go run to HRO and burn it down and steal amplifiers because they're upset. Well, it's okay if you're upset, but it's very ignorant to be doing stuff like that, because there is literally too little compression where you don't have enough average modulation, and there is also too high an average modulation. And the reason why I say that is because the people who are ignorant, they just don't know any better, have peak reading watt meters, and they feel that the more it quivers nervously at maximum output power, the better. But the reality is that only works if you're being received by a receiver with a meter on it. And it doesn't matter what you say. You can sit there and do blah, 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 whatever, as long as that meter just quivers there with maximum power. But the reality is that you're not transmitting to do that. You're transmitting to be heard, like what you're saying needs to be heard. And the brain uses changes in amplitude to help decipher what's being said. So, for example, between words, like your brain is listening for waveforms. It knows the word so and it knows and all that, but in part of that, it is expecting there to be a drop in volume, and that drop in volume is the cue that tells your brain next word, next word, next word. If you eliminate all that, if you make it just one continuous bar of 100% modulation, your brain is denied the audible cues that it relies on to determine which words are where the word breaks are, because then it's just one long noise that runs on. People don't think about it from a biological standpoint. So there you go, folks. If you just want to look good on your meter and be ignorant, that's great. Do it. Makes that tingle run up and down your leg. Good for you. Glad you're happy. But if you really want to be understood, you need to start considering what you sound like to the person who you're communicating with. And the fact that they have, I am assuming, a brain, and they use, I'm assuming, ears. And if they're using ears and a brain to listen to what you're saying and you actually want to be understood, you can't do the asthmatic compression thing because it erodes your message. Get it? Good. Anyone BCG?
Clark, that's brutal. But on point. I mean, you want to sound human, right? You want to sound like you do when you're talking to somebody. And for the most part, and I'm not saying that there aren't really, really good single sideband, good sounding single sideband guys out there doing, some guys do the ESSB and they have it dialed in. It sounds almost like AM, but the majority of it, like, CQ contest, blah, 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 your 509 QSL, Cures Ed, that stuff does not sound human. None of those guys sound the way they do in a room talking to somebody. And I hate to bring it up again, but if you're going to promote ham radio to somebody who's not used to any of that stuff, you want to try to sound as human as possible, some good fidelity, somewhat close to the way you would sound in a room talking to somebody at a normal voice cadence, which, you're able to do very nicely on AM, and for the reasons that you stated, not so much with the single sideband mode, because you're constantly trying to keep your average power up. It all ties in and comes back to the fact that the easiest way to promote ham radio is probably with relaxed AM stuff, No cue codes, no goofiness, no high fine business, just people having a normal conversation, sounding like normal people with a normal voice cadence, and it's relatable. Ham radio, and this is a niche of ham radio. This isn't mainstream ham radio. So, I don't know. Maybe it should be. Just another thought out there in the universe. W2BTK.
Well, the point of contest audio is not to sound fine business high. The point of contest audio is to be understood through all the QR Mexico. W4 IPC is now blessing your receiver.
Correct. But in the end, the people who are listening to those transmissions are people. They have ears, they have brains. I'm saying how ears and brains work together. If you start blurring your audio by over-compressing it, you will actually work against what you're trying to do if you're contesting.
People who listen to too much compression are the luckiest people.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Connor.
This doesn't finally bring cancer.
I think someone else checked in there, too.
Yeah, doesn't the compression give you brain cancer?
Whoop. It might have had a dropout. Doesn't the compression you bring in, and then it dropped.
Please deposit another.
Man, the band is trash tonight. But I'm hearing all you guys just fine. Man, it's noisy.
No, it ain't trash. Billy, you're freaking 40 over. Trash my well, it's not trash.
There you go. See that?
Dude, oh man, my buddy down there in Texas had the comment of the night. He never has that problem with CW. Dude, yeah, I wish I knew Morse code, man. That stuff's cool.
Well, the problem with CW that I noticed. I hope my audio sounds fine business, by the way. The problem I noticed over the CW contest, the Whiskey Papa X-Ray CW contest, is the rice boxes suck at it. They can't even put out a continuous wave correctly. So in the contest, everybody's, a kilohertz wide of key click. Everybody's key clicking, and there's some people that are more chirpy than a bird. Oh boy. But yeah, I get your point, Clark Q. I get your point. I think the main reason SSB in contest sounds kind of horrendous is because everybody runs. We try to be as courteous as possible by running as narrow bandwidth as possible, so not everybody's on top of each other, which inevitably doesn't work, but we do it anyway. But I run 3 kc of audio for contests because I like to sound very fine business. W4IPC. Oh, that was W2, wasn't it?
Good point. But Connor, the people listening to contests and participating in them are already like big-time ham people. I'm talking about in the context of somebody who may not know ham radio from a hole in the wall. I think that what we're doing here with, high-quality audio, AM carriers, and just sounding human is much more relatable for somebody who has no context into any of this stuff. W2BTK.
Here we go with the quick key. Well, I'm not negating that. I'm more saying just in general, the audio standpoint, not the promoting the hobby. Of course, I promote the hobby with contesting to Utes, but most of these Utes are already hams. Hi, Boo Boo. So, there's that. And, well, yeah. I live stream my contests and all that, and you'd be surprised how many questions I get while I'm operating. Jesus. How many questions I get while operating. Gosh, Black is loud. I get a lot of questions while operating, and, I answer them if I have the chance. And talk to people in chat while I'm contesting, but I don't know. You'd be surprised. People that don't know ham radio really do enjoy the contesting live streams. I don't know, something about it. I don't understand. What, you want me to get wider? Okay, I'll get wider. But, yeah, I don't know. I like AM. I think it does promote the hobby pretty well. I mean, shoot, Billy's got 12 viewers right now. So, it's obviously working. W4IP, oh, I'm hitting the clicker. W4IPC.
So, Connor, I've been sent from a myriad of ops pictures of you. What is this? Hold on a second. What is this? W4IPC named Young Ham lends a hand winner. How about that? This is from, what is it? For W4CAR. I'm not sure what all this is, but anyway, there you are with red headphones on.
That's a me. That's a me. That's actually a recent picture. That's from when I was operating WPX SSB remotely over the internet. Yeah, I did. I won something. I never win anything, but I won something. Nice barrier.
Well, you're getting a lot of attention, which is good.
Hold on, I gotta give treats to Boo Boo.
Yeah, I won that award. You know, I tried to do. Why am I hitting the? I keep turning down my. If I turn down my audio, well, whatever. I keep hitting the peak. Anyway, I try to promote the hobby. I do my best, you know. I have my station here. My little 100-watt station is available to the youths around the road. If you're under 26, you're allowed to use it for free. If you're under 26 and listening, and a hand, which is unlikely, but, you know, of course I'm talking to Billy, not talking to his live stream, of course, because that would be broadcast. Email me. I have like 15 emails, they're all good. I'm good on QRZ, W4IPC, or Connor at W4IPC.com. Please don't look up the domain, it is horrible. And I'll grant you access. But yeah, you know, I try to, as they say, lend a hand. I'm trying to become the youth coordinator for the state of Virginia. W4IPC. And Boo Boo looks happy eating her treats.
I'm sorry, Connor, where were you trying to promote your Patreon channel?
Well, that too. No, I have my radio here, my Pissweek station here in Virginia. The Flex is available. It's on a network of stations that are available for people to use, and my station is on there, but it's only for use by people under 26. So if you're under 26 and listening, and a licensed hand, even a technician, I'll give you access for 26 meters. Connor at W4IPC.com, and I'll give you access. But I let people under 26 use my little station down here in Chesapeake. Surprisingly, it gets a fair bit of use, other than me.
How about that? It's like having a backstage pass. Check him out, folks.
"26 stone, I think I fall into that category.
Oh boy. Yeah, and mention you came from 3885, and you'll get a special coupon.
Connor, what are your red headphones? Are those Beats by Dre?
No, those broke. No, those are my, so K9EID, who apparently hangs out on AM. I've never heard him on AM, but he apparently does it. He sent me those, Bob Heil. Those are Heil Pro 7 headsets. That's the Heil Pro 7. And yeah, that's what I wear for contesting and the likes.
Wow, so you're in tight with Bob Heil.
Yeah. Well, shoot, the microphone I'm talking on right now is my it's a graduation gift from him. It's a Heil PR20.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I wish Bob Heil would send me a mic.
Well, you're not spatial. If you were spatial and in the media all the time, he would use it as an advertising. He'd take it out of his advertising budget. That's how he does it.
All I know is I just got this crappy mic that I had to pay for myself.
Nah, that's no good.
Hey, did you ever get your mic back from Mike Daddy or whoever the heck that was?
I got a mic back from Mike Daddy. It smelled like cigarette smoke. And it worked, but it wasn't my mic. He sent me somebody else's mic.
Man.
And I used it for like 3 years and I sold it.
So much for Mac Daddy.
Mike Daddy, yeah, that was, he was on, Clark, you'll love this. There was a forum called Gear Sluts with a Z, and if you want to talk about pro audio gear, that's like a good place to do it. It's like kind of like where everybody hangs out. Like there's smart people on there that know stuff and have good ears and discuss pro audio gear, but yeah, the name of the forum is great.
I've been there, but yes.
Yeah.
Clark's posts on Gear Sluts first wins.
No. I've read the posts. I didn't create an account.
W2BTK.
And there's Steve. No, because if you do a search for just about anything, it's talked about on there. That's so I've ended up seeing it with virtually every search. What's new on a Chrome?
Not much. I'm flying a remote. I didn't want to break up any conversation that you guys are having. I just wanted to drop in and say hello. Hello. W2BTK.
You're a little PW in there, Steve.
Nah, he's fine.
Yeah, I am, because the ant hasn't kicked in yet.
What? Well, I spent a lot of time on that forum. My screen name, I didn't make a lot of posts, but I have a few. I have one asking about like a mods for compressors to do like asymmetric clipping and this and that, and I never really got like the responses I was looking for, but my username on there was Basilar, as in the basilar membrane.
That's better than some of your other names.
Yeah.
Oh, my names are great. I mean, I used to get so many more comments and like just people talking in general about my old Twitch name than I do now. Like the new one, I mean, let's face it, it's a little boring, but it's a lot more marketable. But my old name, dude, like when I would join chats, it would like people wanted to talk to me. It was it was cool.
You'd have gotten more response if it were Snap My Bra.
Yes, but what kind of people wanted to talk to you?
Very interesting ones.
Let's not forget that it's spelled wrong. We can't let you live that down, Billy.
No, it's not spelled wrong. It's not. My name isn't amateur radio. It's amateur radio, okay?
Are you French?
Okay.
And no, but my brother's wife is. And if you guys need, you know Jawbone, that company, if you want anything from them, she can get the lower end stuff for free and the expensive stuff for 50% off. So if you're doing video conferencing or working from home, it might come in handy.
Whoa. Because I need a camera. I need me a camera for my live stream there, Billy.
Well, I guess Jawbone makes like a camera with a 180-degree field of view. It's like a full room, like, conference camera. And those are a little money. We could get it for 50% off through her. So look up what you want, let me know what it is, and I'll talk to her.
Okay. I shall do so. Am I too wide? I think. Yeah, I'm too wide.
W2 very weak.
W2BTK.
WA1STH should not be weak now.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
W4IPC.
And folding like a cheap wallet in the face of shame, N1BCG. But that's just for ID and no other purpose.
Yeah, you folded like a cheap camera. Get off my phone.
Oh, Whiskey 3, Oscar Hotel. Ready to fall asleep after eating a lot of Five Guy French fries.
Yeah, food coma.
How's my signal, by the way? How's my signal? How is my signal? We're only running 600 watts of carrier. No, peak power. Only running 100 watts of carrier. On the dipole phased array.
Don't say that!
Dipole phased Heising array?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Connor, what kind are you using? Heising, a Heising reactor in that?
Heising.
It's basically a two-element beam, actually.
Well, you're kicking ass, Connor.
You were 50 over that last transmission.
Sorry.
That's not sorry. That's yay!
Yeah, these plate voltage, the plate voltage on these FETs is resting at about 42.
The plate voltage, huh?
Absolutely.
Are they running AB1?
Hey, AB2 is too easy.
Clark, weren't you the guy ragging on people saying that they've, like, so-and-so collector current on their tube?
That's correcto.
Filament voltage.
Oh, well, this is modified vacuum tube. It's actually FET.
Well, hey, if you all tell me that I'm 50 over, like, because maybe one person hears me 50 over, some other people don't, I want to go lower my power, so, what is it?
Power.
Double.
You need to lower your power.
Okay, that's 1 vote for leave it alone, 1 vote for lower your power.
Come up just weaker.
Leave it alone, it's fine.
Drop your power.
Weaker.
Here, maybe Timmy will talk to me. Yeah, go turn the variac, Bill.
What's that?
Connor's been trying to reach out to you, Timmy, and I think he just might do it right now with his current setup.
Actually, I'm hearing you quite well, Connor, but your audio has some issues.
Oh yeah, I'm running remote. I'm still trying to figure it out. Still trying to figure out the audio. But we're running remote. W4IP. W4IP.
Okay. So it's a remote setup. It's not emanating from your abode.
I am emanating out of. I keep hitting the letter. I'm emanating from New York using a phased array, which technically I think should be beaming at you, I believe.
And most of the time, I can barely hear you, but I'm hearing you fairly well. Over.
Yeah, Connor, new antenna system you're using, or you're running more power or whatever, because I could not hear you before either. Is it just band conditions?
Well, he's operating remote. The remote station is in New York.
Yeah, my little home station's too piss weak. No, this is a remote. We're running 115 watts of carrier. And so, yeah, this is not my station.
Okay, that clears it up. Anyways, sounds good into New Hampshire.
It's set up parameters adjusted.
Yeah,
I think we doubled, Mr. Tim. Go ahead, Connor.
Radio. I haven't figured out how to thing in here, but we'll get there.
Well, what does the remote setup consist of?
It's a Flex 6300 SDR transceiver running into a solid state 6 transistor amplifier and into a phased array at 90 feet.
A phased array, eh?
An array, eh?
Seaman, well, that's what's making it happen. It sounds like levels, like carrier levels, like something is being overdriven, like maybe too much carrier or too much of something. Because as you know, with these SDR pieces of gear, there's all these tweaks that one can do to rein it in, as they are capable of sounding real good.
Well, here's the question. You're running SmartLink, obviously, and your AM carrier should be up all the way, and then control the output with power out. But you probably know that already.
Yeah, I just turned the carrier down to 93. The problem is with what we're running here for an amplificator, we do have to be a little bit careful what we set that RF power number to. We'll just leave it there.
Yeah. What are you running with? A laptop and a headset, or what are you using?
I'm running a desktop, running dumb SDR, and Heil PR40 mic.
Okay, well, I'm using a laptop. I'm running remote also. I'm running a 6600 from Maine in New Hampshire. And this is a USB condenser microphone headset.
Yeah. The problem is I can't turn the RF power up past 10 too much. I can bump it up to 11 there, but the meter gets to jumping. Yeah, carrier is at 93%, RF power is at 10%. I'm holding up the frequency. Back to the group.
I think I'd bring it down a bit.
No, he's all set. Run the AM carrier with Smart SDR all the way up. And power, you're controlling, obviously, so you don't overdrive that amplifier and burn it up.
Only to listen to your own signal at your location, Turner?
Yes, I do. I can fire up my own flex. My sexy flexi down here in Virginia. STH. It's not the amplifier I'm worried of burning up. It's the FCC I'm worried about.
Oh, I think I understand now. You're running legal limit carrier. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm running a 100-watt carrier, but this is a 6 LDMOS amplifier, so do the math.
Yeah, well, if you only run on a 100 watts carrier, I don't see the problem.
Well, first of all, what you need to do is just have a good receiver listen to your signal that you're transmitting, and then you'll hear the distortion, and then you start making tweaks to correct it or see how it's affected.
Well, let me do this.
W2VW.
Yep, but that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh boy. Because I can do this, I can take this radio into full duplex. I can make her go like yaw. And I can turn that to up. Put you into AM mode. And then I should be able to listen to myself. W4, I prefer careful.
Yeah, one has to be able to monitor themselves when schwatzing around with it. Anyway, I'm gonna get something liquid with which to refresh myself. This is WA1H and y'all are at Wisconsin.
Yeah, let me see if I got it.
W2BTK.
I can tell you after meetings and Jamie's and what I use and how it works out for me, so.
I heard someone in there.
Processor.
Somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
System EQ in the radio. That's it. Turn the carrier all the way up, set the power level where you want it, and set the EQ to do whatever you want it to do. WA1STH recliner remote.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm gonna move down in frequency here to 3873 so I don't annoy everybody. I shall return. W4IPs.
Okay. Did I hear Jamie in there?
Jamie! What type of shenanigans are going on my frequency?
Are you driving in your car?
Yeah, but I'm coming up against some mountain. In the valley here. I want to get out of here.
Well, get up out of the hole and I'll be hanging out here for a bit.
Okay, fine.
Good signal, Jamie. You're doing okay at the moment, even though you're not there yet.
In a fleeting meeting of success.
Yeah, I hear you good into New Hampshire, Jamie. Hello, goodbye, good luck.
You hear him well.
I do hear him.
Ask him if he's got his car fixed.
Good evening, everybody, and wait for it. 1BCG.
Hey, since, well, look at that. I haven't drifted yet. That's amazing.
And I think I heard fire in there.
Yeah, did Jamie get his car fixed?
Yes, I did. Thank goodness. I was blessed that they got it in and about 4 hours.
Over.
Got it out. I was, what a blessing.
Did you hear that, Bear, or is he too close?
No, I can't hear him. What did he say?
He said yes. Thank God. It was a blessing. They got it in, they got it out, and he's on the road with it, apparently.
New cable or just a connection to the cable?
This is what happens with vertically polarized mobiles that are close.
With your big bass voice, and so is Steve as well.
Well, thanks for the signal report, but you should probably glue the windshield in.
I wish I wish that I could have been born with a nice bass voice. I got this girl's voice, and it was so frustrating because one of my big heroes when I was a kid was Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, and when I was 10 years old, I dreamed I was going to grow up and have a bass voice like that, but I never did get one.
You are S9 and a little over into New Hampshire, Jamie. Good to hear you.
Steve, good to hear you too, buddy. Thank you.
Well, Jamie, it's not easy. There's not really room for all three of them, and it can be discomforting sometimes. It's not always easy.
Yeah, you probably have to buy all your clothes from Duluth Trading.
Yeah, I never smoked either. I mean, at least not cigarettes.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It seemed right around 10 years old or 12 years old, instead of my voice going down, it went up.
Oh, man. Well, that came in handy for you because you could sing.
Thank you. Not anymore. I haven't done anything for a decade anyways. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to kind of bust it up. You had a good technical QSO going here.
Hey, Jamie, did it turn out to be just something like you could fix easier, or did you have to replace the cable, W2BTK? Say what?
The cable bear.
Okay, sent you an email on that. Glad you got it fixed on the cheap. Congratulations. All ends well that ends well.
Yeah, thank you for your advice, Bear. If I didn't get a chance to say it this morning, I was too rapt. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I sent you a link to the part and a diagram of how it goes in. No problem.
You're a king amongst the men, Bear.
Just take 2 Bear and call me in the morning. Yeah.
Neil, Nancy and I.
How's this? I changed the audio just a little bit. I think it's my EQ. I had my EQ a little wonky.
Sounds much better to me, but you sound like a little old man now.
I think you have to check your phase. I'm gonna play the part of Dirk. You're gonna have to check your phase.
You could run a phase blaster like Clark.
Hydrogen reactor?
Oh, you're trying to beat Clark. Let's see if it works.
Heising.
Hi, Zing.
It didn't work. It must be on a beverage run or something.
Yes, Bayer.
Sorry?
I'm using triple sideband tonight. Nobody noticed.
I noticed the vertical modulation.
Yeah, I think that was in 1973, April QST, the suppressed sideband amplitude modulation article, where the carrier went up and down at an audio rate.
You know, this is why I come to this frequency.
It's not used often, but the Z-axis modulation is very effective.
W2 very weak at 50 because I haven't identified on the zeros yet.
The modulation.
W2BTK just to be obsequiously compliant.
W4IPC.
N2DJ Mobile.
This is W81H YOR.
You know, these piss weak quorum attempts are hilarious. I'm actually enjoying it.
What quorum? They must be so piss weak I can't even tell they're doing it.
Exactly.
Connor, you lost a lot of distortion. You're not as fuzzy as you were. You had like a clipping going on, which seems to mostly be gone now. So it's an improvement. There's more improvement, which probably can be had, but you know what? That's a good step. I would give up for the rest of the night and just operate, man. Just operate. It's all about the content.
Yeah, well, I don't like I don't like to make the frequency, how's my audio now? How about now? Now. Sounding better now? I changed one setting. How about now? So that's enough for tonight. If you say I'm not distorted, we're going to run what we brung. I think what was happening is I had my EQ all wonky, and so now I kind of made it a nice little curvy curve, and I think it's decent enough. W4IPC, Blueberry Hill, New York.
What's the radio?
It's a Flex 6300.
No, it's not right. I'm watching your modulation on the scope here. It's definitively not right. But just talk, because it's okay.
Sounds
Shut the station down and go to bed.
It sounds a lot better than it did, man. You're making great progress.
You might have the carrier up too high. Are you running an amplifier?
Yeah.
Where do you got the carrier set?
93. It's only putting out 88 watts of carrier rate.
Yeah, that might be more than it wants to put out on AM. I'm not sure.
Well, this, no, I can assure you that's not it. This amplifier has 6 LD MOS transistors in it. It's not even come past room temperature yet.
No, not the amplifier.
But I am modulating up to like 600 watts, 700 watts. W4.
No, not the amplifier. The flex. All right, I got to do some stuff. Somebody else explain it. WB2GCR. I don't know for sure because I don't have that radio, but my suspicions may be confirmed. WB2GCR standing on the top. Go ahead.
You sound good, Connor, and you strapped bare.
Oh, now that carrier I do see that crummy carrier. A dummy load using a dummy load. Imagine that.
Yeah.
There, Billy, I sent you a picture there on your telephone of my equalizer. I still think it needs some upsies and downsies, but that's enough for tonight. I'm getting annoyed by just talking about audio on the frequency. W4IP. W4, wow, that was a bad one. W4IP.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Connor, you sound much better. And those are great improvements. And I'm sure if you keep messing with it, you're going to sound exactly how you want to sound. But night and day difference from before. So good job. W2BTK.
The rule is, if you keep playing with it, it'll only get bigger.
There's Clark. Nah, I won't bait him.
I'll do a drift check again. Oh, yeah, okay, thank you.
Where am I at? Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, you're there. I can still hear you in my passband over here.
Man, Mr. Very Weak, you sent my sync detector going crazy. No, you're both are close enough, you know? Close enough.
Connor, what's the azimuth on that antenna? Is it like 40 degrees or something, or you don't know?
Europe. It's, well, it's actually, pointed right over Timmy. Pointed right over Timmy there, and headed straight up to Europe. So, northeast southwest radiation. Beaming Europa.
Does it just have one major lobe going forward, or is it bidirectional? You may sound bidirectional with your last description there, and you lost me.
It's got a major lobe and a minor lobe. More power goes towards Europe than it does towards America, but quite a bit goes towards America as well. It's about 60-40.
Very interesting. Probably pretty low angle radiator too, so not going to do much up in the Timmy land. He's not far enough away. Very interesting. I'm sure that you've got a giant signal somewhere. You know, you're okay here, don't get me wrong, but somewhere you're knocking them dead. There's some guy on the Canary Islands or something out there in a boat, and only you are being heard there.
Well, actually, Connor's signal is right up there with everybody else's with less power.
Well, there you go. See that? That's from the man himself.
Amazing what an antenna does. Talk about phased array. Oh yeah, well, all these stations are DX stations. I mean, this one is an actual contest station. I mean, this station is, you know, I was talking to VW last night on it, on 10 meter AM. For my first time on 10 meter AM. With running 5/5, and apparently what Billy was telling me, I was doing more of the work. But you know, this station it does okay in the U.S., but it's built for, you know, DX. But hey, you're hearing me.
No, you don't count.
I wouldn't talk to VW if I were you. That guy's a troublemaker.
You know, everyone knows it.
Hi, Mikey.
Well, the next thing you know, he's going to have you, like, building antennas and stuff, and you don't really want that, man. Just, you know, that's no way to go.
I don't know if Billy sent it to you, but the station up in Maine, I designed up in this nifty software I found. I designed up, and they actually put it up. It's a 5-element 80-meter wire Yagi beamed towards Europe at 200 feet with a 150-foot boom or something like that. And boy, that's a transmitter.
Yeah, that should work really well. Does anybody ever light it up in the window when there's no contest?
Yeah, all the time, actually. Well, let me go see. Let me go spy on the station up in Maine. Timmy might know where it is. Maybe not. Jonesport, Maine. Someone's on it right now. On 80 meters.
That's pretty neat stuff you're playing with there. You're gonna go places, kid. No question about it. W2 very weak.
Maybe once I get my extra here, if I pass it in a few days, I'll be able to talk to Europe on the with that. Because I tried getting in here one night with it, but the front to back ratio on that thing is substantial. Foursquare works okay for getting into the AM window. I think I was on here with Billy on the Foursquare, and he was hearing me okay. So of course I could phase that.
Query? What? Yeah, Connor. Did you say you're running 80 watts of carrier without modulation?
Your query? Yeah, that's what I said. Actually, let me see. 88.5 watts to be exact.
Out of the flex, right? From the flex?
No, hell no. Out of the amplifier.
Oh, never mind. Then I don't know. Yeah, you've got it under 25 watts, right?
The radio is putting out about a watt of carrier.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood, yeah. You have the ALC fed back from the amplifier?
No, that's why I gotta be careful.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you got RF getting back in. Okay, never mind. I just misunderstood before. Continue on. W2BTK's there.
He's fine, Bear. The only thing is he's got nothing to limit his dynamic range, and he drifts back from the mic, and he's got no audio. He gets close to the mic, he's 200% positive. There's a lot of mud in there. I can't understand what he's saying.
Well, I'm hearing distortion. I don't know. It's fine. I'm hearing distortion both on a remote web and on my free. I don't know. I'm trying to help. I'm just going to get myself in deep trouble.
W2JBL.
Hello, Chris.
Oh, Dave and Connor and Bill and Clark and the multitudes.
Kind of bro.
Who's that?
We need to bro. We need to bro. Everybody got some shots. What about it, Dave?
Mikey, turn your sideband profile off. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah, I need some shots. Those burger and fries crushed me.
That sounds human. Much better.
Hi, Dave.
Hey there.
Yeah, I'm still hanging here.
You're hanging?
Yeah, I'm hanging. Oh, as Clark said, yeah, the more you play with it, the bigger it gets. I guess I did a lot of that when I was 16 and 17.
Stop that, you'll go blind.
How about a double astigmatism?
I only did it till I was blind in one eye.
Then you knew it was for real.
Yep.
Well, AG5 CK, sorry we missed you on 10 meters last night, man, but band didn't work between here and there. But I did work 8 guys on 10 meter AM last night. And that's the most I've been on there in years, so that was fun.
Was a Z-skip.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
What are you guys drinking the same soda?
Stop clicking. I don't want to talk over anybody. If you remember, Dave, I said afterwards I was going to go work some JAs on 10 meters. And by golly, if I didn't work 5 of them.
Yeah. Right after that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I went back and I worked a pair of them on FT8. And, what, did you work them on CW?
I worked 2 on CW, the rest on FT8. The CW ones were quite weak, though.
Yeah, that station you've got up there, that antenna, man, that thing for long haul is just amazing. You had a good signal down here. And, as you know, I was not pointed anywhere near you, so we get that sorted out. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to get BTK on there too. And Clark will still have his dipole in his garage, thumbtacked to the wall.
It's working now. It'll work then.
Ray's remote station.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah. Well, I mean, you weren't really that weak either. The noise was nothing, so, I mean, I heard you beautiful. I mean, you know, I could hear every word of you. I don't know if you could hear every word of me, but, I mean, it was quite fun. That was the first time I've ever been on 10 meter AM, and, well, I enjoyed it. I did. But that ain't, this isn't even the big 10 meter station. The big 10 meter station's up in Maine with, oh heck. Let's see, there's 8 over 8 over 8 over 8, or 7 over 7 over 7 over 7 over 7. So, pick your poison.
Yeah, man. Well, that was really cool. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for showing up there. And at the end, when I think you said you went to 172 degrees or something like that, you came up. And you were quite a good copy. Although your audio was, you know, it needed adjustment. I mean, with your new audio adjustment, and if you can watch your levels there, it'd be a lot of fun. All right, folks, I got stuff to do. So it's been fun. I'll be listening for a while. Thank you all. And we'll talk with you next time. I'll listen out. 7-3. W2, very weak.
7-3's Dave. I was going to start asking questions about SDR receivers. All right, catch you later.
See you later, Dave. W2BTK. I might actually jump out of here too in a few minutes here. I've been up till 2 a.m. every night because I'm running the live stream, and then I edit video, and then I want to hang out and chill for like an hour, and it's always 2 a.m. So I might shut all this crap down a little early tonight and try to, you know, be a human for a day.
Billy, I'm gonna go to sleep early. Yeah, I guess I kept you up a little late last night, didn't I?
I think that's TMI right there.
Only if you have a dirty mind. We were, you know, talking on the ham radio, and it was an interesting QSO. Why? What were you insinuating, Clark?
So you guys kept each other up all night talking, all right?
We wanted Clark to jump in there, but he must have gone to Betty Boo. We wanted to talk to Clark too, but it was just me and Billy and then that other guy. I'm good with call signs, aren't I? Okay.
Well, there you go. What an exciting evening. 3885. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, ladies' night. Be there. Oh, you know what? Radio Corsair may be on tonight. That's right. 1.71 megahertz. Got to check that out.
Clark, I think we'll be up for ladies' night. I think Karen is going to be, this would be like, 4 times in a row for her. So, yeah, we plan to be on.
There's a growing surge, and no one's toppled any statues yet. It's a good thing.
Wow, let's just say that.
Yeah. No statues have been brought down today.
Case. The guys I had questions for are all signed off. W2JBL. I'm starting to look at SDRs, and I'm finding they either don't publish the full specifications, and when they do, the specifications through their set point, through their IMD, blocking dynamic range and all that, if the specs aren't even published, they're horrible. Anybody know anything about that?
The P1A is a pretty good one.
Alrighty, guys. So, like I said, I've been up way too late every night. Waking up late, and I'm gonna start work pretty soon. So I'm gonna try to get in the habit of like not being up till 2 a.m. every night. So, first step. Don't stream so late. So, I'm going to shut this thing down for tonight. That is, unless anybody's got any questions or wants to chat for a sec here. By all means, I will hang out and chat with my chat if there's something to chat about. Billy needs a flex so I can keep the stuff warm. Yeah, well, maybe someday you'll be able to remote into this stuff, but it's all very ancient and very tube. I'd need, like servos and things. You wouldn't be able to tune around, and you know how it goes. But Connor, I know Bear was giving you crap and like everybody, but like you sound so much better now. You made those changes, and that's just like the first step. You're gonna get it. I don't know if you're listening. You're probably talking on the radio right now, but dude, you're doing great. Keep it up, man. But let's see. It doesn't seem too chatty in here. You're used to it. Yeah, exactly, man. It's just let it roll off your shoulder. You're doing good stuff, man. You're impressing the hell out of me. So, yeah, not too much going on in the old chat here. So, why does my camera look bad? It's all grainy and the light level. I think I bumped it and it got all screwed up. But whatever, I'm going to shut the stream. So for those of you watching, I appreciate it. I hope you're having fun, because I'm having fun. Seems like y'all know where to find me, but if you're new to the channel, if you hit that follow button up there, you will get notifications when I go live. And it'll be a little bit easier to find if you want to come back and hang out, which I think would be great, because I appreciate all you guys, and I want to put on a good stream for you. So I guess with that being said, oh yeah, I should I'll throw my YouTube channel up there. Wrong hand. I upload all these streams to YouTube there, and that's my YouTube name. I throw, videos up there, highlights of what's going on in the air, in addition to like the full stream. So you can check that out if you're starved for content. Well, there's nothing going on live. Lots of interesting stuff, good people, good QSOs. You put them on when you're at work or whatever, if you want to hear some ham radio and there's nothing going on the air. So I guess with that being said, I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for stopping by. And we'll see you tomorrow night for some more ham radio. So Connor's off the air now. And yeah. I'm going to ride off into the sunset. So I'll see all you guys later, man. Thanks for stopping by. Peace out.